Hey everyone, we've updated our channel name from Chinese Novel Audio Wave to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Nothing else will be changing. We're still uploading a new video every day, bringing you the best Chinese novel audiobooks. Let's dive into today's story. Chapter 41, Wano Kuni's Savior. Momonosuke, the shortest-serving general in Wano Kuni, no doubt about it. Actually, using a gun is pretty cool. Lei Te suddenly wanted to study gun skills. The main thing is to point a gun at someone and then say, "Don't move," calmly, which makes you look very cool. I can't tell. Jin answered honestly, and the power is too small. Captain, if you don't use Conqueror's Coil, the bullet won't even penetrate that guy's body. Most of the snipers in the pirates use seastone bullets and attack from a distance. Captain, you're a demon fruit power, so it is not easy to use seastone bullets. And with your observation hockey level, it is better not to use firearms. Moria is also fighting Lei Te. The problem of bullet power can be solved, observation hockey. Buggy's observation hockey talent seems to be focused on passive dodge. At this time, the earth shook violently again. Momonosuke's death did not stop the elephant from moving, and it seemed that he was still attacking the outskirts of Wano Kuni. Kinemon suddenly laughed wildly, "Ha ha 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 ha, Wano Kuni is about to be destroyed, and you will get nothing." ****. Denjiro slashed at Kinemon with his sword, "You've gone completely crazy." "Yes, I am crazy. Prophecies and the like are all lies." Kinemon's eyes were full of bloodshot. "We defeated Kaido with great difficulty, but in the end there is a new enemy." "You are a waste, Kinemon. Denjiro has been undercover for 20 years, and Kawamatsu has been imprisoned for 13 years, and neither of them complained about the hard work. What qualifications do you have to say this?" Kikunosuke scolded. "It's no use saying anything now. Let's die together." "Ha ha ha ha," Kinemon laughed crazily, not caring about the wounds on his body at all. "Don't go crazy here." Lei Te put away the Shinzo Terminator who said Wano Kuni is going to be destroyed. "This is my territory now, how can I allow a beast to destroy it?" There was a gleam in Denjiro's eyes. "Can you really save Wano Kuni? If so, I would like to do my part." "Damn it, Denjiro, are you still worthy of being a samurai?" Kinemon didn't expect Denjiro to surrender to the enemy. "You are the one who is unworthy of being a samurai. Have you forgotten the teachings of Lord Shimotsuki Yasui? We should be the guardian of Wano Kuni, not the destroyer of Wano Kuni." Denjiro said through gritting his teeth. "Traitor, you betrayed the Kazuki family. But we didn't betray Wano Kuni. How could Tsuru have fallen for someone like you in the first place?" Kikunosuke dodged Kinemon's attack and pierced Kinemon's chest with the sword in his hand. The power of the remaining snow made Kinemon wail incessantly. When Kinemon wanted to fight back, Kawamatsu beside him cut off his arm. Immediately afterwards, a swift flash of a knife appeared, and Kinemon's head flew up. It was the expressionless Denjiro who gave him the final blow. "You are a samurai of the Kazuki family, and I am a samurai of Wano Kuni." Denjiro knelt down before Lei Te and said, "I beg you to save Wano Kuni." Denjiro knew that the power of the Elephant Master was beyond their reach, and Wano Kuni was surrounded by the sea, so the people had no place to escape. If this continues, Wano Kuni will be destroyed by the Elephant Lord, and the only hope is these people of unknown origin. "I'm just protecting my territory." But Lei Te looked at Kinemon's body on the ground, is Kinemon completely dead this time? "Ah." Denjiro was stunned. "I killed him myself. Jin, grind this guy to dust." Lei Te was still a little worried. He took Kaido's blow with his head without getting hurt. "We can't be careless." Jin's expression suddenly became serious. "Don't worry, I will burn him to ashes." "Do you two still want to be loyal to the Kazuki family?" Lei Te turned to ask Cat Viper and Inuarashi. "They are still fighting with Crocodile. Of course, even if we die, we will never betray Kazuki Oden." Cat Viper glanced at Denjiro and the others with disdain. "Okay, Crocodile, I'll leave them to you. I'll go and stop the Elephant Master. If that guy doesn't listen, we'll have to kill him," said Lei Te. "Wait, you can't do this. There are fur tribes living on the elephant's back. The cat viper suddenly panicked. What does that have to do with me? I am the master of Wano Kuni, not the master of the fur tribe. Lei Te turned around and was about to leave. Let's go and find the elephant master. Cat Viper and Inuarashi suddenly panicked. What if Buggy really killed the elephant lord? Then the fur tribe would be wiped out. Wait a minute. They wanted to stop him, but were stopped by Crocodile. I heard that you are the king of the fur tribe. Crocodile sneered. It seems that you are not qualified. How did you guys become the king? He spent a lot of effort planning Alabasta but failed, and in the end, a fool in New World can become king. We surrender. Stop fighting. Cat Viper shouted. His responsibilities as a king still outweighed his loyalty to Kazuki Oden. Forget it, Crocodile, let them go. Lei Te said, how long will it take for you fur tribe to evacuate the elephant master? Is this really going to kill the elephant lord? Cat Viper's pupils shrank. 2 hours. Inuarashi estimated the time. The fur tribe were all pretty strong and they evacuated quite quickly. But we don't have so many boats. Cat Viper said in embarrassment. Let's retreat to my boat first. Denjiro, arrange for Wano Kuni's people to stay away from the direction of the elephant master. Let's go to the elephant master first to take a look. Lei Te ordered. I'll do it right away. Denjiro knew there was no time to waste. Luckily he had some younger brothers who could help. Before leaving, he hesitated for a moment, but still said, thank you, sir. It was the Kazuki family that destroyed Wano Kuni, but it was outsiders who wanted to save Wano Kuni. How ironic. Lei Te and his group were all experts, and with Jin flying in the air to show the way, they soon found the trace of the elephant lord. It was constantly attacking the rock wall with its nose, and each attack caused Wano Kuni to vibrate. Such a giant creature actually exists in the New World. Crocodile exclaimed when he saw the size of the elephant lord. There is one in the old world, too, Moria said, but no one knows what it is. It only appears in the mist. I have searched for it several times, but have not found anything. It will take a long time to kill a giant of this size. Hawkeye calculated that it would take him at least several days to kill the elephant lord, by which time Wano Kuni would have been destroyed. Jin, take Cat Viper and Inuarashi to Zo. Lei Te found that the ability to fly was quite useful. Let's communicate with him first. Chapter 42. The Persistent Elephant Master and the Hostility from the Surrounding Seas. How does this thing communicate? Crocodile looked at the towering elephant lord. He is an intelligent creature and understands human language. But it is a bit tiring for his voice. Lei Te flew into the air and shouted to the elephant master, hey, Momonosuke is dead. Are you still going to follow his orders? The elephant owner did not react. After a while, he swung his trunk over again. Did this guy not hear it or did he do it on purpose? Lei Te looked at the lifeless eyes of the elephant owner, wondering what it was thinking. Why don't we kill it, Captain Buggy? This thing would be useful as a zombie. Moria came up with a good idea. Can you drive such a huge zombie? Lei Te shut Moria up with just one sentence. How about cutting off its nose? That shouldn't take much time. Hawkeye made a suggestion. Then it will be troublesome if it hits Wano Kuni directly with its body. Lei Te rejected Hawkeye's proposal, thought about it, and took out the Den Den Mushi. I'll find Mochi, let him answer the phone. After a while, Den Den Mushi turned into Mochi's dead fish eyes. Captain Buggy, what's up? Aren't you an animal trainer? Do you know how to communicate with elephants? Lei Te asked. It's okay for elephants, but if they're too big, then there's a problem. Mochi on the Den Den Mushi side spoke hesitantly. Oh, you can see this guy over there too. How about giving it a try? I can't do this, Captain Buggy. It's too big. Den Den Mushi even shed tears. Beast taming usually involves first using force to subdue the beast, and then slowly tempting it with things it likes. Or, after a long period of companionship, helping the beast do some things, the beast will get used to the presence of the tamer. Mochi explained the method of taming animals. There is one last method, which is a secret method passed down by animal trainers. It involves mixing the hormones of the animal so that it will treat you as its partner. There's no need to talk about the last method. I didn't expect you to be that kind of person, Mochi. Lei Te hung up the Den Den Mushi right away. It turned out that he couldn't count on this guy. Wait a minute, Captain Buggy, I haven't used the last method either. Mochi found that the Den Den Mushi had been hung up, and the people around him were looking at him with contempt, and he couldn't help but get anxious. The key point is that even Lion Licky looked at him with horror and took a few steps back to distance himself from him. Quote question mark. Beasts. Mochi is indeed an extraordinary man. Only Jack didn't care and continued to praise him. If you were in Beasts Pirates, you would have been famous long ago. I told you it's not like that. Mochi suddenly felt that his life had become gloomy. What should we do, Captain? Should we attack him first? Crocodile asked. Wait a minute, let the Fur Tribe people evacuate first. If this guy still refuses to communicate, don't blame me for being rude. Lei Te said. Captain, are you planning to use that trick? Moria thought of the black light that pierced the sky last time. If that's the case, he should run away first. Abu's revenge has not been taken yet, so don't get yourself involved. That was a mistake. I didn't get it right the first time. There will definitely be no problem this time, said Lei Te. Soon, Denjiro and his team, who had completed the evacuation of Wano-kuni residents, also arrived here. Sir, we don't have much time left. If the Elephant Lord continues to attack like this, Wano-kuni's foundation will be shaken in no time. Denjiro said solemnly. Kikunojo and Kawamatsu also looked worried. Kazuki Hiyori escaped. Lei Te asked an irrelevant question instead. Denjiro's face turned pale immediately. Sir, It doesn't matter. As long as she doesn't cause trouble, I won't kill her. Lei Te waved his hand. The Kazuki family, or rather the entire Wano-kuni, clearly favors boys over girls. Kazuki Hiyori has no idea of the Kazuki family's secrets and is just a tool responsible for gathering information. I don't even have the strength to defend myself, so what's the use of escaping? Thank you, sir, Denjiro said gratefully. I will take action once I get news from the Fur Tribe. Now, let's just wait and see. Lei Te split the sword in his hand into some metal pieces, activated the electromagnetic force, aimed at the elephant master, and then fired it out. The metal pieces hit the elephant owner at an extremely fast speed, creating small holes. Lei Te launched several times and finally found a satisfactory position. We'll attack here in a moment. Are you sure it's all right, Captain Buggy? Hawkeye and the others' observation haki were far superior to Lei Te's, and they quickly guessed his purpose, which was to find a position to attack. Fortunately, the elephant's body is huge. If it was a small target, Captain Buggy's observation haki level would not be able to hit it accurately. Don't worry about the details. All you have to do next is wait patiently, Lei Te said confidently. 3 hours later, Jin returned to Lei Te and reported, the Fur Tribe has been evacuated, and most of them are on the Baikudopu. Lei Te made a phone call and said, you retreat another 10 nautical miles. It's very far away, Captain Buggy. Mr. 3 who answered the phone looked a little strange. Back off a little bit, I can't control the power of my skills. Lei Te said. It sounds so real. Can you still get here? Mr. 3 secretly complained, but still obeyed the order. Let's move back a little further. The Baikudop was already packed with people, many of whom were curious and wanted to see how the captain would deal with this giant creature. Did we get too hasty by directly evacuating all our clansmen from Zou? Anuarashi felt a little regretful. Let's wait and see. I wonder what that Buggy guy is trying to do, said Cat Viper. Hey, Jack, I heard that you fought against the Elephant Lord. How strong is he? Asked Runty of the Flying Six. Can you call me Jack? Call me sir, Jack said dissatisfiedly. Come on, the Beasts Pirates are gone, and we are all the same now, Runty said. I wonder how strong the new captain is. Is he stronger or weaker than Boss Kaido? The tall Black Maria also came over. We'll know soon. Jack was badly beaten by the elephant owner. I heard about it, Runty said. Then why are you asking me? Jack's forehead veins popped out. Don't bother with my sister, Lord Jack. Peggy Wan apologized quickly. In the distance, some people were watching the movements of the Buggy Pirates ships. Captain Kidd, the Buggy Pirates ships are retreating to the rear. The lookout reported. Follow them and see what they want to do. Kidd ordered. Captain, are you still going to compete with Buggy for the title of 4 Emperors? His deputy, Killer Warrior Kira, was a little worried. I just want to know why the Shichibukai all ran to his hands. Kidd's mechanical arm made a creaking sound, revealing the owner's irritation. It disrupted my plan. There is also a third-party force in this sea area. Smoothie, should we continue to wait? Charlotte Daifuku asked. Katakuri is already on his way here, let's meet up with him. They have received news that the Wan Kingdom has been captured by the Blackbeard pirates. He will come here sooner or later anyway, so let's wait for him here. The tall Smoothie said, Wangguo has been lost, let's see if we can take down Wanokuni. But this place has been spotted by the Buggy Pirates. Charlotte Dave hesitated. The Buggy Pirates only rely on those Shichibukai. When Katakuri arrives, we will fight them and see who will win. Smoothie stood up. His long legs were very eye-catching. Not everyone can be called the 4 Emperors. But there is a prerequisite. Wanokuni must not be destroyed by this giant elephant. Chapter 43 Forbidden Moves Fission 15,000 tons Lei Te Boy, little boy. Have you retreated far enough? I'll start from here. Oh, and pass on the instructions. There may be strong light in a while, so remember to close your eyes. Lei Te hung up the Den Den Mushi. You don't have to shout anymore. It seems that the Elephant Master is determined to obey Momonosuke's orders. From the beginning, Denjiro and the others had been persuading the Elephant Master to stop attacking, but the Elephant Master remained indifferent. The guy clearly understood what people said, but he refused to stop, so he had to be stopped by force. Do you need our help? Asked Denjiro. No, let me take care of it. Lei Te looked at the huge figure of the Elephant Master and split out a handful of 10 centimeters long blue hair. Then, through the power of the chop chop fruit, the hair was split and reorganized into a bullet shape, and the armament hockey was wrapped around it, dyeing it black. The force of the magnetic field exploded, forming an electromagnetic acceleration channel in front of Lei Te, which was facing the direction of the Elephant Lord. Then Lei Te looked at the black bullet and fell into deep thought. What's wrong, Captain? Is there any problem? Moria was a little scared. She hoped that he wouldn't get into trouble like last time. Nothing, just some emotion. After delivering this blow, Lei Te decides to face the world as Buggy. In the eyes of everyone in the pirates' world, he is the new 4 Emperors Buggy, not Lei Te, a visitor from another world. It's time to put the past to rest and integrate into this world. Lei Te's fragmenting force began to enter the bullet, cells, cell nuclei, molecules, atoms, atomic nuclei. Originally, only some very massive atomic nuclei such as uranium, thorium and plutonium could undergo nuclear fission. But in the pirates' world, there is a power within the nucleus of human cells, armament hockey. The existence of this power allows Lei Te to directly use cells for fission. Under the effect of the fragmentation ability, the nuclei in the cells have become unstable, armament hockey begins to emerge, and the bullets in Lei Te's hands become darker in color, as if absorbing the light from the outside world. In a moment, the fission force will erupt completely and will not be controlled by Lei Te. Suddenly, Hawkeye and his observation hockey began to sound the alarm, indicating that there was great danger around. Here we go again, Moria muttered. Are you going to use this to pierce the Elephant Master? I told you it's different from last time. The bullet in Lei Te's hand began to spin faster and faster. This can be considered a farewell to the past. Using Lei Te Boy's power on Wanokuni can also be considered a kind of fate. What boy? Jin was very sensitive to this. Joey boy. I can't bring laughter to others, but I can bring destruction. Lei Te laughed. Go ahead. Forbidden move fission 15,000 tons Lei Te Boy, little boy. Accelerated by electromagnetic force, the black bullet broke through the speed of sound and flew towards the Elephant Lord. After flying out of the 200-meter control range of Lei Te's splitting ability, fission has begun. Large amounts of armament haki and energy began to appear, and the two forces influenced and stimulated each other. By the time it reached the Elephant Master's position, the black bullet had turned into a black fireball that was 100 meters in size. The black fireball hit the Elephant Master hard, and the fission force began to erupt completely. First there was a strong white flash, followed by a deafening explosion. Countless pillars of fire appeared and swirled. In an instant, a dark gray smoke cloud several thousand meters high formed on the elephant's body. In the center of the smoke cloud, a white smoke column rose. The smoke cloud surrounded the smoke column and formed a mushroom shape. The huge impact force knocked the Elephant Master down directly, and its huge body fell into the sea. The high temperature on its body directly boiled the sea. Countless steam appeared, blocking the nearby sea area. Then the impact triggered a tsunami, and huge waves carrying steam rushed in all directions. "Be careful of the waves." Mr. 3 shouted on the Baikudoku, "Back off in the direction of the waves." Wow, what kind of move is this? It knocked down the Elephant Master in one go. Runty's eyes were full of stars. Is this the power of Captain Buggy? What a terrifying man. Black Maria licked her lips. After this blow, the Elephant Master will be seriously injured if not killed. Don't just stand there. Stand still, block the waves, and don't let them overturn the boat. Mr. 3 found that most people were in a daze. Everyone seemed to have just woken up from their dream, and quickly used their abilities to block the incoming waves. The Buggy Pirates boat began to shake violently, but fortunately, there were no ordinary people on board, so no tragedy of falling into the sea occurred. Cat Viper and Anuarashi looked at each other with expressions of relief. With this blow, Zoe will be gone. Buggy, when did Captain Buggy become so powerful? Cat Viper paused, then used honorifics. It's a good thing they surrendered, otherwise the fur tribe would have been almost wiped out. Anuarashi still broke out in a cold sweat when he thought about it. The survival of the fur tribe once depended on their single thought. In the huge waves, the boat of the Kid Pirates group was also fleeing rapidly. Hurry up, get out of this damn place. Kid no longer wanted to stay near Wano-kuni. The strange situation just now was related to the Buggy Pirates, and Kid no longer wanted to deal with them. He now misses Big Mom a little bit. What kind of monsters are the new 4 emperors? We must find someone to form an alliance with, otherwise how can we fight these monsters? But how many people can be trusted? The Kid Pirates were pretty lucky, but Smoothie and his friends weren't so lucky. They were too close to the Elephant Master and the boat was overturned and fell into the boiling seawater. How many times has this happened? Why is it that things never go smoothly when I get to Wano-kuni? Smoothie sank into the sea powerlessly, waiting for the rescue of the non-powerful people from the Big Mom Pirates. Crocodile and his team were even more shocked when they watched Lei Te's attack from a close distance. This attack is powerful enough to destroy a country, right? Even the ancient weapon Pluton doesn't have this much power, right? If Crocodile hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it. If you had fired one at Summit War, the Marine headquarters would have vanished. It's only capable of destroying a city, not a country, Lei Te said. Lei Te Boy is just a small-scale fission. If you want to destroy a country, you have to use Tsar Ivan the Great. But that would require the power of fusion, otherwise Lei Te would have to fission half of his body cells to reach the power of Tsar Ivan the Great. Even if the power of Tsar Ivan the Great was unleashed, the explosion range of Tsar Ivan the Great was too large, and it was not safe within 10 kilometers, so Lei Te himself could not escape. Unless there is a demon fruit power that is good at spatial movement to provide support. Are you talking about a big country like Alabasta? Crocodile curled his lips, it's enough to deal with those island countries. This move has some consumption, right? Those hairs. Hawkeye noticed that some of Lei Te's hairs disappeared. That's right, that's why it's called a forbidden move, Lei Te said. Fortunately, Buggy's hair is long enough to be used several times. A forbidden move that consumes hair. Hawkeye was somewhat speechless. Is the elephant owner dead? Denjiro was more concerned about this question. We'll know when the steam clears. Chapter 44. Mochi's Decision, the First Step to Rule Wano-kuni. Looking at the steaming sea, Lei Te was thoughtful. From now on, I will incorporate the name Lei Te into my moves, and I will use the name Buggy from now on. Maybe I can inherit Buggy's conqueror's luck. The sea breeze blew away the steam, revealing the scene on the sea. The elephant owner was not dead yet, but a large hole deep enough to see the bone was blown in his body. The area around the wound had turned black due to the high temperature, which prevented the blood from flowing out. This giant creature has such tenacious vitality. Buggy exclaimed sincerely. You have to know that the version has changed now, and the power of the bomb can kill 4 emperors. The elephant lord let out mournful cries and struggled to stand up from the sea, but his injuries were too severe and he failed several times in a row. How pitiful. Kikunosuke couldn't bear to watch it anymore. Pity a monster that wants to destroy your country. Are you crazy? Buggy found it difficult to understand Kikunosuke's thoughts, just like how he held back on Kanjuro on the battlefield, indirectly causing the death of Ashura Duji. This guy is a pig teammate. But Wano-kuni is rich in this, so one more wouldn't be a big problem. Kikunosuke's face immediately turned red. Captain Buggy, do you want to make another attack like that? This time we will definitely kill it completely. Moria still wanted to see the explosion just now. Given the Lord's condition, we can just slowly kill him. The attack just now was very exhausting. Buggy said. I don't know if there is such a thing as hair growth water in the pirates' world. Or find some heavy elements like uranium. Marine does have some explosive rock, and we can try it out if we have a chance. The elephant owner struggled several times and finally managed to stand up, then staggered in the opposite direction of Wano-kuni. Is he running away? It seems that persuasion by force is more effective. Crocodile sneered. Come as you like, leave as you like. Have you asked for my opinion? It just so happens that Wano-kuni's general died today. Killing it will be enough for everyone to have a feast. Buggy didn't want to let this hidden danger go, and at this moment, the Den Mushi on his body rang. Buggy answered the phone and it turned out to be Mochi. You said you were going to tame the elephant master. Are you serious? I was just joking. Buggy didn't expect Mochi to have such an idea. Only those who possess the ability to listen to the voices of all things can communicate with the elephant lord. In the history of the pirates' world, only 3 people have this special ability. Now only Luffy is left. How can you tame it if it can't even communicate? I'm serious, Captain Buggy. The elephant master is seriously injured now, and this is when he is at his weakest. It's easy to develop feelings at this time, said Mochi. I don't really understand animal taming. It always seems unreliable to me. Buggy felt that the size difference between the two was too big. I don't want to live in such a muddle anymore, Captain Buggy. My strength must be worthy of my status and bounty. I don't have any special talent in hockey, so I can only rely on my special skill of taming animals. On the Baikutoku, Mochi was unusually serious. Okay then. Buggy felt Mochi's determination. Then you should be careful. Also, it's best not to use weird things like beast hormones. I've already told you I've never used that. Den Mushi shouted loudly, I'm a legitimate beast tamer. So there are dark tamers too, what a scary group. Then do it. If it doesn't work, don't force it. There are plenty of opportunities to become stronger. Safety is the most important thing. Buggy said, by the way, tell Mr. 3 that you can land in Wano-kuni. In fact, the most suitable fruit for Mochi is Tama's devil fruit. The ability of that devil fruit is simply a god-level fruit for a tamer. Captain Buggy, I won't betray your trust. Mochi's eyes were filled with tears. He turned around and saw Jack. Can you lend me the ivory you used for decoration? Knowing that Mochi's target was the elephant owner, Jack readily took off the tusk. Not long after, Mochi put on an elephant coat and dressed himself up like an elephant, even sticking a long trunk on his face. Are you going to a children's party? Everyone thought that Mochi's outfit was really eye-catching. Jack was very interested. Is this also the method used by your animal trainers? It feels very familiar. That's right, it's easier to win their favor by dressing up as wild beasts. Do you know the panda people? In fact, they are also tamers, but they wear panda skins on the outside and are actually humans on the inside. Mochi revealed some of the secrets of tamers. Panda people exist all over the world, and Jack has seen them several times. No wonder they don't want to join the Beast's pirates, it turns out they are humans. Jack suddenly realized. Bonnie, please let the bear slap me to the elephant owner. Mochi was ready. Okay, come on, I wish you success. Bonnie commanded the bear to activate its ability. The pink bear paw bubble wrapped Mochi and flew in the direction where the elephant master left. Brothers, when we meet again, I will bring the elephant lord back. Mochi said goodbye to everyone in the bubble. Even this guy has started to work hard. Mr. 3 suddenly felt a sense of crisis and decided to develop wax fruit when he had time. We can set sail now. Our destination is Wano Kuni, which is the new base of our Buggy Pirates. Mr. 3 ordered. There was a sudden cheer on the pirate's ship. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Only Cat Viper and Anuarashi still looked worried. Without Zo, the fur tribe could only go to Wano Kuni and accept Buggy's rule. I wonder what kind of ruler that guy will be. We need to count and hand over all the property and then redistribute it. Denjiro doubted his ears. Captain Buggy, even Kaido has never issued such an outrageous order. So he failed. He messed up something as simple as ruling a country, so he is only suitable to be a teacher, not a ruler. Buggy said. Denjiro didn't understand why Kaido was suitable to be a teacher, but the man in front of him was the most outrageous ruler he had ever seen. Wano Kuni will be in chaos if this happens. The property is in the hands of the daimyo, the underworld and the businessmen. They will not accept such conditions. Denjiro tried his best to explain the situation of Wano Kuni to Buggy. Why did they have so much wealth? Buggy asked. Because. Denjiro suddenly couldn't speak. Wano Kuni has been like this since ancient times, and no one has ever thought about whether this is reasonable or not. I came to Wano Kuni for 3 things. Fairness, and damn fairness, Buggy said. Let's start with the distribution of property. What if they don't agree? Asked Denjiro. We are pirates, so let's solve this problem the way pirates do. Buggy took out his flintlock rifle. If they don't agree, I'll give them justice myself. Whether it's the high and mighty General Wano Kuni or the gangsters in the underworld, all are equal under this gun. Chapter 45. The Burning Flower City, Shunchang's Demise. As the Buggy Pirates landed in Wano Kuni, the entire Wano Kuni suddenly fell into chaos. However, the common people soon discovered that this chaos did not affect them. Instead, the usually high-ranking daimyo and the samurai they supported were the first to suffer. At night, even someone from the pirates group notified them to go for dinner, and the best part was it was free. To celebrate the death of General Wano Kuni, Captain Buggy has decided to hold a 3-day banquet. You can eat and drink as much as you want without spending a penny, and you can also take some rations back at the end. The pirates' words caused cheers among the civilians. They were starving some time ago, but now they have free meals to eat. Mom, are there any generals in Wano Kuni? If one dies every 3 days, we can have feasts every day. A thin little girl said naively. Don't say that. Her mother quickly covered the little girl's mouth. It doesn't matter. Even though all the generals of Wano Kuni are dead, you won't be hungry anymore. Those daimyo have plenty of food in their homes. Bonnie, who was passing by, heard what the little girl said and spoke carelessly. She held a handful of food in her hands. Would you like some? This squid is quite delicious. While the civilians were feasting and eating, Wano Kuni's asset count was also underway. The daimyo had the most assets, and they usually kept samurai to guard their homes. As for the gangs, most of them are in collusion with businessmen. Naturally, they were unwilling to obey Buggy's orders, so this night was particularly bloody. It seems that many people choose property over life. In the attic of the flower capital, Buggy sighed as he looked at the flower capital that was on fire. Mr. Buggy, what's the difference between depriving them of their rights and wealth and taking their lives? Denjiro said bitterly. They have so much food that it's getting moldy, but people are starving to death outside. I remember Kazuki Hiyori once used her beauty to exchange for money from a merchant. Why don't you be more direct? Buggy asked. With the strength of the 9 red scabbards, those merchants are no match for them. Kaido will not care about these trivial matters, so Buggy can't understand why Kazuki Hiyori, as a princess, would go out and swindle money in person. Is it Wano Kuni's traditional art? One is cheating, the other is robbery, there is still a difference. Denjiro explained dryly. And, Mr. Buggy, what exactly do you want to turn Wano Kuni into? Denjiro finally asked the question in his mind. It will become my logistics base, so I need farmers, workers and law-abiding businessmen. As long as they are willing to work hard, I will ensure that they will live better and better, but the only thing I don't need is parasites. Buggy looked at the flames burning in the Flower City. I don't allow them to exist in my territory. If they don't agree, will you kill them all? Denjiro asked. That would mean a lot of lives. I'm a pirate, not a saint. Besides, it's better for one family to cry than for everyone to cry. I gave them the chance to choose, so don't blame me if they don't cherish it. Buggy found that the pirates' identity was quite useful. Those gangsters. Denjiro organized his words. If they stop causing trouble, can Mr. Buggy let them go? Why not? I'm not a bloodthirsty lunatic. Just hand over your property as required and go to work honestly, and nothing will happen to you, said Buggy. I understand. I will go and persuade them. Denjiro left in a hurry. Is this guy here for Leopard Guro and the others? Buggy thought as he watched Denjiro leave, but the gangsters who were used to getting something for nothing might not necessarily listen to his advice. Sure enough, after saying goodbye to Buggy, Denjiro went directly to Leopard Goro's residence. Kikunojo and Kawamatsu are also here, as well as a woman with beautiful emerald-colored long hair, Kazuki Hiyori. Denjiro, how serious will this unrest be? Asked the short Leopard Guro. Many people have contacted me to discuss how to drive away the Buggy Pirates together. Don't you want to live? The Buggy Pirates are much more powerful than the Beast's Pirates. Denjiro exclaimed. Is there something wrong with those people's brains? Why weren't they so active when they were fighting against the Beast's Pirates? The actions of the Buggy Pirates have aroused public outrage. They are even more outrageous than those of the Beast's Pirates. Leopard Guro slammed the table and broke it. They actually plundered the daimyo's property. Public outrage. Denjiro saw only the laughing and cheerful civilians along the way. At least they didn't attack civilians, Denjiro explained. That's because those untouchables have no property to plunder, otherwise they would definitely not let them go. A voice came from behind Wabao Wulong. It was an old man with a sinister face. The Buggy Pirates have plundered all the wealth that we daimyo have accumulated over the years. This behavior is unforgivable. We have Princess Kazuki Hiyori. We can use the name of the Kazuki family to call on everyone to retake Wano Kuni. Princess Hiyori, what do you mean? Denjiro ignored the daimyo and looked at Kazuki Hiyori instead. The truly courageous daimyo had already died in the battle against Kaido, and the ones left were nothing but trash. I want revenge, Denjiro. Kazuki Hiyori still can't accept the news of Momonosuke's death. Denjiro was silent for a while, then nodded slowly. Then come with me, and practice swordsmanship. Don't get involved in this kind of thing again, or there will be no hope of revenge. No, the first one to object was the old daimyo. Wano Kuni can only be united in the name of the Kazuki family. I want to marry Princess Hiyori, so that I can take back Wano Kuni legitimately. In response he was met with a flash of sword light, and Denjiro drew his katana and split him in half. The samurai outside heard the noise and rushed in. They found their lord lying on the ground and drew their weapons at Denjiro. Captain Buggy is right, the only value of these guys is to die. Kikunojo, Kawamatsu, let's fight our way out with Princess Hiyori. Denjiro found his thoughts clearer than ever before. He threw a samurai sword to Kazuki Hiyori. Princess Hiyori, this is a world where the strong prey on the weak. I was wrong before. I didn't teach you the most important skill. Pick up your weapons and fight with us. You can take back Wano Kuni only when you become strong enough. If you clash with the Buggy Pirates now, you will only die. Denjiro said sternly. Kazuki Hiyori picked up the samurai sword stained with bloodline and said in a trembling voice, "How long do I need to practice before I can defeat Buggy? Maybe it will never be possible." Denjiro recalled the way Buggy attacked the Elephant Master, which was simply like that of a god or demon. But this can at least save Kazuki Hiyori's life. If she stays here, she will only become a tool of the old forces. Although these old forces will not be able to struggle for a few more days. If you work hard, there might be a glimmer of hope. If you don't work hard, there won't even be a glimmer of hope, said Denjiro. Then let's fight our way out together. Kazuki Hiyori raised his weapon. Hanaichidori, raging light worship. A flash of sword light passed by, and the warriors in the house fell to the ground with blood gushing out, and unknown flames ignited on their wounds. Leopard Guro, whose stature had grown from short to burly, slowly retracted his weapon. "I don't need you to take action in my territory. Since Princess Hiyori has made the decision, let's go. Denjiro, you stay for a while." Kikunosuke took Kazuki Hiyori out of the door, leaving only Leopard Guro and Denjiro in the room. "You didn't mean what you said just now, revenge or something." Leopard Guro became short again. "That's right, the Buggy Pirates are more terrifying than the Kaido Pirates. I just want Princess Hiyori to survive." Denjiro knew he couldn't fool Leopard Guro. "Will Buggy let Princess Hiyori go? She is the only bloodline of the Kazuki family," asked Leopard Guro. "You haven't seen that man. He doesn't care about such trivial matters. What he needs is Wano Kuni to work according to his will. Those who obey will live, and those who rebel will be killed." This is why Denjiro thinks Buggy is scarier than Kaido. Kaido doesn't care about these things at all. As long as the benefits handed over by the subordinates remain unchanged, Kaido doesn't care about the lives of civilians. Buggy, on the other hand, regards the entire Wano Kuni as his own, and cannot tolerate the existence of any termites that would corrupt Wano Kuni. Is that so? Pirates are really a group of strange guys, with all kinds of people. Leopard Guro said. "Then I will reject their request and use my old eyes to see what that guy will turn Wano Kuni into." Chapter 46. Reclamation and Construction, New Uses of Devil Fruit. "I quit. Why should I do this kind of work?" Runty angrily dropped the farm tools in his hands. "Sister, don't lose your temper. Aren't we all doing the same job?" Peggy Wan picked up the farm tools. "We can't go to mine Seastone. We are combatants, dedicated to fighting. But we come here to do farm work like this. What on earth was Captain Buggy thinking? Runty has never done this kind of farm work since she was born. You can only join the battle sequence if you do well. Sister, you don't want to do this kind of work for the rest of your life, right? Look, Jack is working very hard." Peggy Wan pointed to the side. "Jack has transformed into his ancient mammoth form and has become a ruthless plowing machine." "That big fool." Runty covered her face and couldn't bear to look directly at him. "Does he still have the dignity of the three disasters?" "There's no such thing as the three disasters now. Jack just wants to become the captain of the squad as soon as possible. If we work hard, we can even compete for the vice captain," said Peggy Wan. Suddenly, the earth shook and a mushroom cloud rose in the distance. "Captain Buggy is using a band move again." Runty's eyes lit up immediately. "Every time I see it, I think this skill is so exaggerated. The construction of the third reservoir has begun. Before that, we must hurry up and reclaim this land." Page 1 transformed into a Spinosaurus, pulled up the farm tools and started running quickly. "Wait for me, Xiao Pei." Runty hurriedly followed. In the distance, the mushroom cloud had not yet dissipated, and Crocodile had manipulated the land into quicksand, and then shaped the quicksand into the shape of a reservoir. "I never thought being a pirate would involve doing this kind of work." Since this was his third time building a reservoir, Crocodile was already very skilled. "Captain Buggy, what on earth is going on in your head? Make the best use of everything. Buggy's long hair has become much shorter. If ordinary people rely on it alone, how long will it take to build a large reservoir? The Wano Kuni guys don't know how to build this thing. But at the current scale, it will take at least tens of thousands of people working for several years. Buggy directly blew up a huge pit with a radius of several kilometers and a depth of about 100 meters. It needs people to dig it out, and it is unknown how long it will take. The two of us can finish it in one day, and the manpower saved can be used for other things. Isn't it cost-effective? Speaking of which, I was going to assign the Water Conservancy project to you at the beginning. Can't your sand fruit also dig holes? Buggy feels a little sorry for his hair as its growth rate obviously cannot keep up with its consumption rate. What do you think of a Logia user? I can turn the land into desert, but digging such a big hole will take a lot of energy. Crocodile said unhappily. And next I have to dig a canal connecting the entire Wano Kuni. Although he is a pirate, Crocodile finds himself becoming a worker, and an exploited one at that. Your sand fruit is a god-level fruit when used in construction. Why must it be limited to combat? Buggy praised Crocodile without reservation. Even if you say that, I won't appreciate it. Although Crocodile said this, his movements were obviously much faster. This guy is such a tsunere, could the rumors be true? Work slowly, I'll go look somewhere else. Buggy had finished digging the nuclear bomb pit and was ready to deal with other things. What exactly do you want to do? Even if you do nothing, no one in Wano Kuni will dare to resist you. Why do you do these thankless jobs? Crocodile suddenly asked. Most of the Buggy pirates were put into reclamation and construction. If Buggy's prestige had not been high enough, some people would have been dissatisfied long ago. I just want to try to see how much power the devil fruit can exert in construction. Building a new era is not something that can be achieved by simply shouting slogans and defeating all enemies. If we can't completely change the world, then what's the point? Perhaps celestial dragons were once dragon slayers, but as time passed, dragon slayers eventually became evil dragons. If I lead the Buggy pirates to kill all the celestial dragons, will the pirates become the new celestial dragons? Destruction is always easier than construction. Now I want to challenge myself to a higher level of difficulty. If you can't even manage a country, how can you talk about subverting the world? You might as well learn from the Straw Hat Boy and become a free pirate. Crocodile was stunned after hearing what Buggy said. Your ambition is really unique. I guess there is no other pirates group as unique as this one in the whole world. Why, do you regret it? Buggy asked. No, it's really too interesting. Crocodile suddenly laughed. They are obviously pirates, but they do things that are more righteous than Marines. They are not bound by morality and wield the butcher knife wantonly. Crocodile seemed to see both light and dark qualities concentrated in Buggy. In the end, will you choose to be a dragon slayer or a dragon, Captain Buggy? Leave the canal matters to me. I will complete all the work within 10 days. Crocodile said, I will take on any other tasks. Use me as you like. I just want to see what your new era looks like, Captain Buggy. Buggy looked at Crocodile, who seemed to be full of energy. What was wrong with this guy? Why was he suddenly so energetic? However, it is really rare to find subordinates who work hard without asking for anything in return. Keep up the good work. Maybe in the future you can become the king of construction, the god in the eyes of the civil engineering guys. Buggy praised Crocodile a few words and left in a hurry. If Wano Kuni wants to become prosperous, it is not enough to just grow food, but also to work on local specialties. Wano Kuni is the only country that can process and manufacture seastone weapons. Even the world government comes to Wano Kuni to trade weapons. Now the seastone quarry and forge have been reopened, but the world government customer seems to be gone, so we have to find new buyers for the seastone weapons. I don't know whether the Revolutionary Army is rich or not. Perona walked into the forging workshop and found Hawkeye was indeed there. There are a bunch of swords in front of Hawkeye, and he is wrapping these weapons with armament hockey. How rare. It turns out that this is your afternoon tea time. Perona laughed while holding up a small parasol, but now you are working. What's the matter? Hawkeye said calmly. It's nothing, it's just that my abilities are not suitable for the job, so I can only sit there doing nothing. Perona covered her mouth and laughed. Doesn't this prove that you are useless? Hawkeye's words silenced Perona. That's not the case, it's just that I haven't found a way to utilize the ghost fruit yet. Perona retorted loudly. She only knows how to fight with the ghost fruit and has never considered anything else. Do you want to attach negative ghosts to others? Then go find it. Where's Moria? Hawkeye asked. Captain Buggy asked him to lose weight, saying that he wanted revenge, so Rear Admiral's body size returned to the time when he first fought Kaido. Perona said. That won't be easy. Hawkeye thought about Moria's current size. Are these weapons with seastone added? Perona touched them curiously, and suddenly felt powerless, so he quickly moved his fingers away. That's right. Hawkeye picked up a weapon and wrapped the armament Haki around it, turning the weapon into a black knife. With the blessing of armament Haki, the quality of weapons has been improved. A master like you, strengthening your weapons here, do you miss Kraikana Island? It was the first time Perona saw Hawkeye working. No, I think it's quite interesting. Hawkeye changed his weapon and continued to wrap armament Haki around it. Huh, Perona didn't expect to hear this answer. Do you like forging swords? Of course not. I mean the changes in the Buggy Pirates. Some of them are becoming less and less like pirates. Chapter 47 I am no longer a human being, Ms. He. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. In the Marine Admiral's room, the 3 Marine Admirals gathered together for a rare occasion. Sakazuki, if you need anything, call us all over. Kizaru found a chair and sat down, crossing his legs. Borsellino, please pay a little attention to your image in front of the juniors. Akainu got a little angry when he saw Kizaru's lazy look. I'm just trying to fit in. The last person who was so concerned about his image lost his legs. How scary, Kizaru said exaggeratedly. Akainu's veins popped out. This guy was becoming more and more indecent. There was a knock on the door and Marine Vice Admiral He walked in with some information. She sent the information to the 3 admirals. This is the latest intelligence on Wano Kuni. It has been occupied by the Buggy Pirates. Isn't this normal? Kizaru took the information. Unless the Straw Hat Pirates take action, those Wano Kuni guys will not be able to stop the Buggy Pirates. Sakazuki, the Wano Kuni unknown power you mentioned doesn't seem to have any effect. Kizaru teased. Only the Marine Marshal has the authority to know that kind of thing, so you don't need to care about it. Akainu said bluntly, let's look at the information first. The actions of the Buggy Pirates in Wano Kuni are a bit strange. Okay, let me see. The Buggy Pirates first killed all the daimyos of Wano Kuni, then killed many merchants and robbed them of their wealth. Isn't this typical pirate behavior? Kizaru flipped through 2 pages of information and wanted to throw it away. The people on Roger's ship are no different from ordinary pirates. Watch it, Borsellino, Akainu said solemnly. I have a feeling that the Buggy Pirates will be the Marines' biggest rival in the future. Kizaru was stunned, then picked up the document and continued reading it. There were actually a few photos in it. In the photo, Jack the Drow is transformed into a giant mammoth while a group of children play on his tusks and slide. Hiss, Kizaru couldn't help but take a breath. This must be the most expensive slide in the world. Moreover, when did Jack, one of the 3 disasters, become so good-tempered? Did Buggy really subdue Kaido's men? Although Kizaru knew that this was a matter of time, he didn't expect it to happen so soon. Not only that, keep reading. Honestly, I don't understand. Does Buggy have the ability to brainwash people? Akainu glanced at Crane. The wash fruit can wash away evil thoughts, but it cannot change a person's character. Kizaru continued to look through the pictures, and there were pictures of crocodile building a canal, and pictures of Zone Demon fruit power clearing wasteland and planting crops. The last photo is of a mine, where a group of powerful pirates are happily wielding shovels and mining ore, while some civilians are sorting the ore on the side. Are they working? Kizaru suddenly felt a sense of absurdity. Isn't the job of pirates to rob? When did it become like this? And what about the smiles on the faces of those civilians? Buggy first ruthlessly killed all the upper echelons of Wano Kuni, but then treated the remaining civilians kindly. Is he a pirate or a revolutionary? Green Bull Aramaki found it a little difficult to understand. He is much more radical than the Revolutionary Army, Akainu said. There was an out-of-place photo in the information. It was a piece of red land with densely packed wooden racks standing on it, and corpses were hanging on them. What's strange is that there are white lanterns hanging on each wooden frame. These wooden frames are called street lights, and people who resist Buggy are hung on them every day, he introduced. This intelligence agent is amazing. He has found out the situation of Wano Kuni so clearly. Kizaru praised. Because Wano Kuni is currently in an undefended state, except for children who must go to school, the rest of the people can freely choose their own work in exchange for pay, said he. Rewards, again, something that doesn't go with pirates. Hearing about the reward, Kizaru immediately became interested. Sakazuki, what do you want to do by calling us here? The intelligence officer defected after delivering this information. He said he was doubting this world and needed some time to calm down. Akainu said in a deep voice. I will block Wano Kuni's news from today. There are many radicals in the Marines, and these things will affect them. Everyone immediately focused their attention on Akainu. Aren't you the biggest radical leader? Is it worth it to exchange the death of a few for the happiness of the majority? The intelligence officer must be wondering about this. Fujitora, who had been silent all this time, spoke. Hey, your thoughts are very dangerous. Fujitora, do you want to let Vice Admiral Suru cleanse you? Kizaru said. Stop it, Borsellino. I'd like to wash your laziness away, but I can't. Crane glared at Kizaru. I need someone to keep an eye on the Buggy Pirates' every move. Kizaru, I'll leave this task to you, said Akainu. Why? Kizaru was a little reluctant. I've been running around a lot lately. I don't even have time to take a vacation. Because you are more mature and won't be confused by the Buggy Pirates' behavior, I want you to find out what they are doing. Akainu feels that only Kizaru is not easily influenced, while Fujitora already has bad tendencies. Someone is coming, Fujitora suddenly spoke. Then the door was kicked open, and then there was a loud laugh. Fu, the top brass of the Marine Corps are conspiring here. Are they doing something shameful? Doflamingo, who changed his CP0 white suit into pink, rushed in. You guy, don't you know what politeness is? Wangmu took action directly, and his fingers turned into vines and flew towards Doflamingo. But Doflamingo didn't move, letting the vines pierce him. Fu, I am now representing the celestial dragons. Even though it's not fun, this identity is still very useful. Doflamingo laughed. Forget it, Aramaki, don't bother with him. He looked at Doflamingo. Have you fallen to this level, Doflamingo? Ms. He, this world is so unfair. A weak guy can surpass you in a short time. What's the point of working hard? Doflamingo's voice suddenly became high-pitched. So, Ms. Crane, I will not be a human being anymore. Even if I have to become a dog of celestial dragons, I will achieve my goal. A dangerous aura emanated from Doflamingo. What is your purpose? He didn't understand why the world government wanted to release this guy. Of course, it's to fulfill the celestial dragon's wish. Then maybe I can get my celestial dragon identity back. Doflamingo restrained his crazy attitude and said casually. No, this guy's purpose is definitely not this. He was too familiar with Doflamingo. He gave up his dignity and became a lackey of celestial dragons, and he must be seeking something else. What are you doing here, Doflamingo? If you don't tell me clearly, even the celestial dragons can't save you. Akainu stared at Doflamingo, not hiding his murderous intent. For the Buggy Pirates, let's destroy them together. Fu. Chapter 48. Sakazuki is crazy, he wants to create a new marine. Destroy the Buggy Pirates. Akainu seemed to have heard something funny. Since when has the world government been more active in exterminating pirates than the Marines? Buggy did something that made the celestial dragons hate him to the core. Doflamingo laughed. Of course the world government wants to get rid of him. Marine can't use all its strength on Wano Kuni. Akainu directly rejected Doflamingo's proposal. No need to attack Wano Kuni, we will lure Buggy out. Doflamingo said. What did you use as bait? Akainu didn't know where Doflamingo got his confidence from. The bait is of course celestial dragons. Doflamingo put his foot on the table in front of Akainu and said condescendingly, "Two stupid celestial dragons, how about this bait?" In order to seek revenge, they actually used celestial dragons as bait. When did celestial dragons become so worthless? Akainu was a little surprised, he had never expected this kind of bait. There were a lot of celestial dragons, and after Buggy killed one in public, the rest weren't that important. Doflamingo sneered. In comparison, Buggy, the disruptor of order, is the biggest threat to the world government. The 5 elders are not idiots. They can tell which one is more important. You guy, you just said you wanted to be a dog of celestial dragons, but now you want to devour your master. Fujitora has always disliked Doflamingo and mocked him directly. Doflamingo ignored Fujitora's taunting. First need 2 marine admirals to cooperate with my plan. 2 marine admirals alone cannot destroy the Buggy pirates. You have other helpers. Akainu stared at Doflamingo. There should be only one force on the sea that is willing to be the enemy of the Buggy pirates. Are you colluding with Blackbeard? Fufufufufu. Marshal Akainu is worthy of his name. His guess is so accurate. Doflamingo laughed. You let the marine join forces with the pirates to fight against another pirates. Doflamingo, what do you think of the marine? Akainu's right arm had turned into flowing magma. Like me, you are a dog of the world government. The next moment, the lava fist hit Doflamingo's face and pinned him to the ground. Do you think I dare not kill you, Doflamingo? Akainu's murderous intent was almost solidified. Let's do it. Doflamingo's glasses were broken in half, revealing an eye full of madness. I just want to add some fun to the world now. You're acting like a clown now, Doflamingo. Crane couldn't bear it any longer. Stop it, Sakazuki. Killing him will only allow his plan to succeed. Doflamingo is now a member of the world government. If he is killed, an indelible rift will appear between the world government and the marine. Doflamingo, you really should stay in prison forever. Crane looked at Doflamingo, who now hated the world. HMPH. Akainu let go of Doflamingo, but he still had no intention of getting up. I have worked hard for decades, even giving up my family, but I can't beat someone else's 2 months of time. Who is wrong, me or the world? Doflamingo muttered. Suru tried to activate the power of the washi-washi fruit, but some white threads flew out of Doflamingo and stopped her. Ms. He, I am an irredeemable villain. Please put away your pity. Wild dogs also have self-respect. Doflamingo stood up with difficulty. His body was burned by lava in many places, but he didn't care at all. In a month, I will come up with a plan to lure out Buggy the Clown. By then, the marine must send out at least 1 admiral. This is a death order from the 5 elders. Doflamingo looked at the 3 marine admirals in the room. Fujitora was the first one he gave up. Looking at the lazy Kizaru, he still chose Green Bull. It's best if Green Bull goes with me. After saying that, without waiting for anyone to reply, Doflamingo staggered away. Marshal Sakazuki, Green Bull asked. Just follow him then, and put your own safety first. There isn't a good person in there anyway, so just let them fight each other. Akainu snorted coldly. I'm worried about his plan. Doflamingo has gone crazy. He wants to drag everyone to hell, even himself. He was a little worried. What kind of environment can create such pure evil? Fujitora sighed. He thought of the boy who came to the Holy Land of Mariajoy carrying his father's head. He was as embarrassed as he was today. The 5 elders were foolish to think they could control him. That guy didn't even care about his own life. Have they done enough stupid things? Staying in the house all day, pointing fingers at the world. Akainu said disdainfully, Borsellino, set off to Wano-kuni. With your speed, you can escape even if you are discovered. I don't even have time to rest. Kizaru stood up. When can I retire? When all the pirates are wiped out, Akainu said, you can retire. Hearing you say that makes me even more desperate. Kizaru shook his head, opened the window, and flew away. Dismiss, Vice Admiral Crane. From now on, information about Wano-kuni will be kept top secret. After everyone left, Akainu suddenly felt a little tired. Being a marine marshal was not as worry-free as being an admiral. At that time, Sengoku was there to bear the pressure of the world government. He didn't know that the world government could be so stupid. Buggy the Clown, I want to see what you will turn Wano Kuni into. If the pirates can manage Wano Kuni well, it proves that this approach is feasible. Akainu took out a black Den Den Mushi. Mr. Sakazuki, what's the matter? A female voice came from Den Den Mushi. Aim, you and Bins take some of the new marines to Wano Kuni and pretend to join the Buggy Pirates. Akainu ordered. Hey, go and join the pirates. The black Den Den Mushi was very surprised. That's right. Just say that you have a good impression of the Buggy Pirates because Buggy once stood up for Zephyr. Buggy won't doubt it, Akainu said thoughtfully, then learn how they manage Wano Kuni. Is that so? Okay, I'll talk to Bins, said the black Den Den Mushi. How's the new marine doing? Akainu asked. That's good. Mr. Sakazuki, those marine bases that you specially abandoned make it very convenient for us to resupply. The black Den Den Mushi was very happy. You go to Wano Kuni and tell the rest of the new marines to hide and not take any more actions. Akainu said. Okay, Mr. Sakazuki, for absolute justice. The black Den Den Mushi became serious. For absolute justice. Chapter 49, Prosthetic Eye Innocence, you are senior level. Under the threat of the Kurozumi snake, Kazuki Oden danced naked for 5 years. In this way, he lost the support of the people of Wano Kuni. Of course, this is also related to the fact that he did nothing but dance naked during this period. In a classroom in the Flower Capital, the teacher is explaining the third revision of Wano Kuni's history. Why does Oden trust Kurozumi Orochi? Aren't they enemies? A student raised his hand and asked. Well, maybe he is very innocent. The teacher could only give a reluctant explanation. Teacher, you just said that Oden started spending money in Red Light District when he was 6 years old. Is he still innocent? Some students raised questions. This leader Buggy said that there is a creature called Prosthetic Eye Innocence in his hometown, and Oden is very similar to him. Although almost everyone knows that it is ignorant, there are still a small number of people who think it is innocent and then force others to agree with this view. Just like I originally made you believe that Kazuki Oden is a hero, in fact, you can know what kind of person Oden is by understanding his life. Isn't he just a powerful fool? A cheerful voice came from the classroom. Damn it, Kikunojo, who was passing by, heard the students' laughter and became so angry that his eyes turned red. When he got home, he complained to Denjiro, how could the Buggy Pirates insult Lord Oden like this? How did they insult you? Denjiro asked. They told everyone everything that Oden-sama had done, Kikunojo said, and asked everyone to comment. Denjiro was a little tired. They didn't tamper with history like Kurozumi Orochi did, they just told the facts. Let's not talk about this. How is your job search going? We can't always rely on fishing in the river pines to support us, asked Denjiro. There were actually a lot of jobs, but they didn't want to work for the Buggy Pirates, so there were fewer options. I didn't find any, Kikunojo said dejectedly. Why can't even powerful samurai like us find a job now? No one needs warriors to protect them anymore. Since the crackdown began, all the criminals have been hanging in the street light square. Denjiro still felt a little chilled when talking about the recent turmoil. At first, Buggy turned his knife on daimyo and profiteers and confiscated their property. His second target was samurai and gangsters. You strong guys, don't sit around doing nothing every day, go work. Buggy's words determined their fate. But samurai and gangsters never did manual labor, thinking that it was something for lowly people. So they started a riot in anger, took to the streets with weapons and smashed things indiscriminately. Then all the rioters were hung on the streetlight square. The remaining people suddenly calmed down and chose work between life and work. Why don't we go to the forge and use armament hockey to refine weapons? We can't eat fish every day. Denjiro said, it's hard for Kawamatsu to catch fish every day. If you don't work, you won't get the food purchase voucher, and you won't be able to buy anything. In fact, there is another place you can go, which is to join the Buggy Pirates and become a fighter. Denjiro knew that Buggy only used Wano Kuni as a logistics base and would expand sooner or later. But Kikunosuke would definitely not agree, so he could only compromise. How about I go and perform for money? Kazuki Hiyori, who had just finished practicing swordsmanship, came over. The flower street has been closed, Princess Hiyori. Kikunojo thought for a moment and agreed with Denjiro's opinion. Forget it, let's go to the forging workshop. Princess Hiyori, please stay here. The security in Wano Kuni is very good now, so you won't encounter any danger. Denjiro said. Don't call me princess. The Kazuki family has disappeared. I'll go with you. I also want to see what Wano Kuni looks like now. Kazuki Hiyori said. After leaving Leopard Guro, Kazuki Hiyori never went out for a walk, and could only learn about what was happening outside from the conversations of Denjiro and the others. During their conversation, Hiyori learned that Wano Kuni has been in a bloody conflict and the new ruler Buggy has been killing people non-stop. Later, he forced civilians to work for him, otherwise they would not even get food. Even they have been living on fish, not to mention others. Wano Kuni must be in a worse situation than when Kurozumi Orochi ruled. But when Hisong came back and they went out, Hiyori found that it was very peaceful and quiet outside. The samurai and gangsters who used to roam the streets disappeared, and the faces of the common people were filled with smiles, including many businessmen. Didn't Buggy kill all the merchants? Hiyori asked in a low voice. We only killed the big businessmen, the ones you, Ms. Hiyori, cheated. Denjiro said, the rest of the small businessmen only need to register, and their other activities will not be affected. Have all the able-bodied men been forced to work? Hiyori discovered that most of the people on the street were elderly, and there were no children to be seen. No one was arrested. It was voluntary whether to work or not. The children all went to school. As for the elderly, they can get free food as long as they meet the age requirement, said Denjiro. Ah, Hiyori exclaimed, why did Buggy do that? In her impression, Buggy has always been an evil guy, but this evil guy did good things. I don't know. Maybe there are all kinds of guys in pirates. Denjiro found that he couldn't understand Buggy at all. There was a tradition in Wano Kuni that when the elderly from poor families reached the age of 70, they would be thrown into the mountains to fend for themselves. This was also the case during the reign of Kazuki Sukiyaki. No one paid any attention to these old people, they were just insignificant specks of dust. It's ironic that a pirates managed to do what all Wano Kuni generals had failed to do. Where did Buggy get the food? In Hiyori's impression, Wano Kuni has always been poor. Ah, the ones we searched from the daimyo's houses are enough for Wano Kuni to eat for several years. Denjiro was a little embarrassed. People often starved to death in Wano Kuni before, but the daimyo's house had mountains of food. The Buggy pirates have reclaimed a lot of land for farming and built canals for irrigation. There will be no shortage of food in the future. Hisong often went out fishing and watched the canal being built in just a few days. That scarred man is really amazing. We won't be able to regain Wano Kuni's rule at this rate, will we? Hiyori smiled sadly. They would be more willing to accept Buggy's rule than the Kazuki family. Denjiro was speechless for a moment. If this continues, only a fool would miss the rule of the Kazuki family. Fortunately, we arrived at the forging workshop, which eased the embarrassment. We are here to refine weapons. Denjiro hurriedly went up and said. How's your grasp of armament haki? Can it emit? Asked the pirates in charge of reception. Yes. Denjiro drew out his katana and wrapped the armament haki around it, turning it into a black sword. That's amazing. Are you famous in Wano Kuni? The pirates was surprised. Wait. He took out a notebook and flipped through it. You are the 9 red scabbards, right? Now there are no more 9 red scabbards. Denjiro said with some sadness. You 3 don't need to take the test. You are all SR level and can go to work directly. Pirates said. What is SR? Denjiro didn't understand what it meant. Weapons refined with armament haki are for sale. Captain Buggy divides them into 3 grades. SSR, SR, and R. The weapons you refine are of SR grade, just like the Great Sword 21 work. Pirates explained to Denjiro patiently. Are there any SSR level 1s? Denjiro suddenly thought of the black-clad swordsman. Yes, it's Captain Hawkeye. He is the only SSR level 1 in the Forge Workshop now. Chapter 50. Unequal pay for equal work. Focused swordsmanship. Denjiro wanted to visit Hawkeye, the great swordsman, but learned that he was not here. You guys start working first. The person in charge of the forging workshop led them to a quiet room where a pile of weapons were placed on the table. Just pick a weapon that suits you and do some refining. Completely wrapping the weapon with armament hockey counts as one refining. Refining it 100 times will complete the job, the person in charge introduced. Each time a weapon is refined with armament hockey, its hardness will increase slightly, but there is a limit, and 100 times is about enough. Denjiro picked up a samurai sword, pulled it out and found that the quality of the sword was very good. If all the weapons here were of this quality, they would be a huge fortune even without being refined. Where did you get so many famous swords? Denjiro was very confused. They were searched from the homes of the daimyo. They used good weapons as decorations. What a waste. These are not even the best ones. Some of these weapons have the potential to grow into black swords. A black sword. Denjiro flicked the blade with his fingers, and the samurai sword made a clear sound. It is rumored that in order to refine a sword into a black sword, one needs to attach strong willpower to the sword, and then use armament hockey to permanently seal this willpower on the sword. Wano Kuni has only one black sword, which is the black sword Shisui used by the dragon-slaying warrior Ryuma. It is worshipped by Wano Kuni as a national treasure. Denjiro originally thought that Zoro had the best chance of forging a black sword, but he saw another one a while ago. The black sword that killed Raizo in an instant. The person in charge took out a camera and said, "Come on, hold your weapons, keep your armed colors wrapped around you, take a picture first, and strike the coolest pose." Denjiro suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. Why do you still want to take pictures? Proof of the sale of weapons. The person in charge carefully took out a photo, like this. In the photo, Hawkeye is holding a long sword, posing as if he is about to strike. However, judging from his expression, he is obviously a little helpless. There are words underneath the photo. Mikazuki Munekika. An SSR weapon, refined by the world's greatest swordsman Dracula Mahawk, and has the potential to be promoted to a black sword. Finally, there is the signature of Dracula Mahawk. According to Captain Buggy, with this photo, Mikazuki Munekika's value has at least doubled. This is called. The person in charge took out a small notebook and flipped through it. Fan economy. After putting Hawkeye's photo back in place, the person in charge raised the camera and said, "Although you are very capable, you are not famous and can only receive the minimum salary of the SR level. But she gets more." The person in charge pointed at Kikunojo. "She gets paid twice as much as you." "Ah, me." Kikunojo was a little confused. Why is my salary higher? In terms of strength, he is not as good as Denjiro. Strong female swordsmen, especially beautiful ones, have high commercial value, said the person in charge. It's no big deal just because you're good looking. Besides, Xiaoju is obviously a boy. Before Kawamatsu could finish his words, Denjiro covered his mouth. "Okay, we understand," Denjiro said, "we'll just take the lowest pay. You are the only one with the lowest pay. This green guy's pay is 1/3 higher than yours." The person in charge said, "A powerful alien swordsman is also a selling point." Denjiro suddenly felt that the world was full of malice towards him. In a wasteland around the flower capital, Hawkeye, holding the Black Knife Knight, is fighting Buggy. Some cadres who had nothing to do were watching. Buggy holds the black sword Chu Shui with two-color hockey wrapped around it. Every time it collides with the black sword Yi, the dissipated hockey will cause a small-scale explosion. Captain Buggy is obsessed with the construction of Wano Kuni, so why did he think of practicing swordsmanship? Hawkeye asked. Strength is the basis. Without strength, everything is Kyoka Suigetsu. I not only want to practice Kenjutsu, but also Haki. Buggy said. Kaido said that although the fruit abilities are strong, only Haki is above all others. Although he was immediately beaten up by the power of the Nika fruit, as a well-known honest man, Buggy decided to believe what teacher Kaido said. Besides, there is no harm in practicing haki. The black knife would occasionally slash through Buggy's body as if it was slashing through the air. You can't experience the feeling of life and death when fighting with me. If you want to improve your swordsmanship, you can only rely on other methods. Hawkeye said solemnly, pour your will into the sword, just like hockey color wraps around it. Will, can that thing also be infused into a sword? Buggy asked. Why not? Isn't Conqueror's haki a kind of spiritual power? Hawkeye said, willpower is the most important thing for a swordsman. The reason why I am optimistic about Zoro is because of his strong willpower. I see. Buggy pulled back, then I'll give it a try. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Buggy recalls the time when he activated Conqueror's haki, and that was when he decided to turn the world upside down. Buggy released Conqueror's haki all at once, and the powerful momentum even affected reality, making the air heavy. Everything in Wano Kuni is now running as I wish, but this is just the beginning. I will lead you to conquer this world and practice my domineering ways. To make this world submit to my will, this power is not enough. The strength of Conqueror's haki is related to his spirit. My spirit shouldn't be so weak. Conqueror's haki suddenly stagnated, and then even more powerful haki burst out from Buggy. That wasn't the limit just now. How strong is Captain Buggy's Conqueror's haki? Crocodile was a little surprised. His opponents are celestial dragons, the world government, and even the entire world. Only such a spirit can inspire such a powerful Conqueror's haki. As someone who also possesses Conqueror's haki, Hancock is well aware of this. That's it, let me see your limits, Captain Buggy. Hawkeye became serious for once. Of course. Buggy concentrated all of Conqueror's haki on the black knife Chu Shui, and also injected his own domineering will. I will fulfill your beliefs. This is my promise. So, lend me your strength, and then we will conquer the world together. The tyrant bear couldn't speak, but there was a barely perceptible light flashing in his eyes. I don't want to be a king of construction, but conquering the world is fun. Crocodile laughed. Then take us to kill all the celestial dragons, Captain Buggy. Hancock said. I'm going to kill all those bastards from the Blackbeard pirates. Moria's face was full of murderous intent. I want to see if you can change the world, Captain Buggy. Jin bowed slightly. Actually, tilling the land is quite interesting, Buggy, said Jack. An endless stream of Conqueror's haki entangled the black sword Chu Shui, and the dense black and red electric lights connected into one, and finally turned into a black and red flame. That's it, let me see your will, Captain Buggy. Hawkeye held the sword with both hands and injected armament haki into the black knife Yi. Two figures charged forward, and before the two black swords collided, the power carried by the black swords began to clash. A black and red energy ball appeared where the black knives clashed, and then the energy burst out, forming an earth-shattering explosion. When the smoke and dust caused by the explosion cleared, the two men had already put away their weapons. It's just that Hawkeye carried the Black Blade Knight on his back, while Buggy put the Black Blade Shisui on Akomako. I feel your will, Captain Buggy. Even without the power of the fruit, you can still become a top swordsman. Hawkeye said, and your ability naturally restrains swordsmen. Even I don't want to fight you. Although Conqueror's haki has made a breakthrough, observation haki is still a shortcoming. Buggy saw that Komako wanted to leave, so he split out a hand and grabbed its neck. This guy wanted to escape with the black knife Chu Shui as soon as he got the chance. There's nothing I can do about that. I'll just go back to work. Hawkeye said. Wait a minute, the pirates, officers are all here today, let's discuss something. Buggy said. Wano Kuni's specialties are almost ready, it's time to start a new plan. I call it the Age of Navigation. Chapter 51. The Age of Discovery, heading to the 7 water cities. Crocodile casually built a sandstone hall and asked everyone to discuss things inside. Now the control ability is much stronger, Lao Sha. Buggy found that there was a large conference table in the hall. It's all thanks to you that I don't even have proficiency in attacking skills anymore. Crocodile glared at Buggy. He was digging canals even in his dreams. What is the age of exploration you're talking about? To put it simply, it's about trading. Now the only people active on the Grand Line are either pirates or marines, and merchant ships are rarely seen. Buggy said. Merchant ships. There should be some in the 4 seas, but they only run short distances. As for the Grand Line, no one should dare to drive a merchant ship around. Hawkeye has traveled to many places and knows a lot about this. You see, every island or country on the Grand Line has its own specialty, but they can't sell it at all. Even if it's the same product, the price in different places is different. There is a huge business opportunity here. Buggy was about to explain in detail when he realized that everyone looked uninterested. Do you know how huge this fortune is? Everyone still looked dazed, obviously not listening. Only Jin gave him face. Captain, do you want to build a merchant ship to do business? It's not just one ship, it's a fleet of merchant ships traveling between the countries on the Grand Line, Buggy said. To make money, but money is of no use to us. Moria didn't understand why Captain Buggy was so obsessed with making money. Buggy then remembered that these guys never had any trouble with money. A small amount of money has little effect on us, but when the money reaches a certain level, it can affect the world. Just like Elbaf's giants, they are happy to be mercenaries as long as they are paid. Buggy's Pirates Dispatch Company originally had a team of giant mercenaries, but unfortunately they later resigned and became Straw Hat Luffy's subordinates. These giants are very powerful. Big Mom has been coveting the giants for a long time, but she has never succeeded. Let's not talk about anything else for now. How do we ensure the safety of merchant ships? There are countless pirates on the Grand Line. We are in a hostile state with the world government. Hawkeye asked. Of course we rely on the use of force. The 4 emperors, deterrent power is just right here. Buggy took out a flag with a mushroom cloud painted on it. This is the peace flag used exclusively by the caravan. I will inform the entire world that this caravan is only engaged in commercial activities. Anyone who dares to attack the caravan will be provoking the Buggy Pirates and will face the Buggy Pirates' relentless revenge. If we do this, safety shouldn't be a big problem, but how can we guarantee that we can make money? Hawkeye said. I don't think anyone here has any experience. I did run an assassination studio, but it wasn't for the purpose of making money. Crocodile lit a cigar and recalled the past. Start by trading in specialty products, which are basically a sure win. Once you are familiar with the prices in various countries, you can start selling other products. Wano Kuni's specialties are weapons and sea stone, which are in demand everywhere and can be easily sold at high prices. In fact, we should thank Kaido for building a complete weapons factory system in Wano Kuni, although the pollution is a bit serious. But as long as the pollution is controlled, production can be resumed immediately. Of the original 4 emperors, only Kaido was seriously running the factory, while the rest lived on protection fees. So the so-called Age of Navigation was all about going to various places and buying low and selling high. Earning Baileys, Hancock said. By the way, we can also gather intelligence and recruit talents in various places. If there is a place worth investing, we can also invest and establish a base there. Buggy explained. Is this a preparation for future expansion? Crocodile understood immediately. That's right. Once we have a good understanding of the situations in each country, it will be time for us to expand our territory. Buggy looked at Crocodile with approval. As expected of a conspirator, his reactions were quick. Hearing that the Age of Discovery was not just about business, everyone became interested again. Then we have to build a shipyard first. Wano Kuni has been isolated for many years and doesn't have such talents. Do we have to go to the 7-water capital first? It's too late to order merchant ships now. We can just go to the sea and grab some ships. We can modify them a little bit and use them. It's a pity that our ships are almost all destroyed and Onigashima has also sunk, otherwise we could still get a few ships together. Jin said. Boss Buggy, just let me go and grab some boats. Jack volunteered to go out. Buggy thought of Jack's past achievements and didn't want to let him go out to sea, but he was afraid that it would be a blow to him if he said it out loud. He's been working very hard these days, so let him go out to sea. It's just a matter of robbing a few ships anyway. Then you go, take the Flying Six with you. Forget it, Jin, you can come with us too, just get 2 or 3 ships back first. Buggy felt that it was not safe, so he let Jin go with Jack. But we have to build a shipyard in the future. I'm going to go to the Seven Waters City to see if I can recruit some shipbuilders. Buggy said, Old Sand, you go build a new port first. Do I have to learn how to build a port again? Crocodile was confused. The more capable you are, the more work you should do. Buggy patted his shoulder. It's mainly because your ability is so useful. I am a sand fruit, not a building fruit. This is the last time, let me participate in the battle next time. Crocodile finally agreed to build the port. Actually, the ancient weapon Pluton you've been looking for is in Wano Kuni. If you have nothing else to do, you can look for it. Buggy told the secret to Crocodile. Unexpectedly, Crocodile's reaction was very calm. Oh, really? Did Robin tell you? Hey, this is what you've been looking for, aren't you excited at all? Buggy was a little surprised. A wicked warship that can destroy an island with one strike. Is this ancient weapon Pluton really that powerful? Crocodile said, the captain can probably do this level of attack. I wasted most of my time searching for the ancient weapon Pluton. If Luffy hadn't defeated me, I wouldn't have woken up. No matter how powerful the ancient weapon is, it still needs people to use it. If you don't have enough strength, what's the use of finding Pluton? He was once evenly matched with Baelite, but later fell far behind him and devoted all his energy to finding Pluton. And even if we find the ancient weapon, we won't be able to challenge Whitebeard. Buggy knew Crocodile was right. Take Poseidon Shirahoshi for example, being able to command all the Sea Kings is indeed very powerful, but her true form is her biggest weakness. Once the decapitation operation is carried out, the entire mermaid tribe will be unable to protect her. Then please do as you please. Wano Kuni's safety is in your hands. I will be back as soon as possible. With 5 Shichibukai here, Buggy is not worried about Wano Kuni's safety. Should we go look for Pluton Rayleigh this time we go out? Chapter 52 Rocks Pirates Baby, Pluton Rayleigh. Sabayati Archipelago, Island 13, Blackmail Bar. The door of the bar was opened, and several men in black robes walked in, all covering their faces with hoods. Shaki, who was wiping the wine glass, paused. The leader of the black-robed men had already arrived at the bar, and she could see the face under the hood clearly. Shaki sighed, put down his glass, and began to drive the guests out of the bar. Today's drinks are free. I have an important guest coming to visit, so I'm closing the shop. Since the relocation of the marine headquarters, Sabayati Archipelago has gradually become a lawless place, and most of the people staying here are pirates. Wow, what kind of customer makes the boss lady lose her business? Wearing black robes in broad daylight, are you trying to be mysterious? Let me see who you are. These pirates who had just set foot in the New World were fearless. A drunk pirate was obviously dissatisfied with Shaki's decision and came forward to see the identities of these men in black robes. A wine glass flew over, and the force carried by the glass directly knocked the pirates away. You'd better get out of here before I get angry, Shaki said coldly. The guests in the bar then remembered that the proprietress who blackmailed the bar was not someone to be trifled with, and they quickly left the place in shame. The bar became quiet again. Sorry, Shaki, for interrupting your business. Buggy untied his black robe and threw it to the person next to him. A vein popped out on Shaki's head. Why are you here? And don't call me Shaki, am I that old? Shaki didn't expect that the 4 emperors Buggy would come here. I was just passing by and came to see Vice Captain Rayleigh. Buggy sat down at the bar. But Rock's pirate has been destroyed for more than 40 years, and Sister Shaki is still so young. In comparison, Vice Captain Rayleigh is much older. Huh, you know a lot. Is it so difficult to keep a secret now? Shaki didn't expect Buggy to know her identity. Where did he get this information? Rayleigh is busy outside, and he probably won't be back for a while. Hearing Buggy calling her sister, Shaggy felt much better and poured Buggy a glass of wine. Do you guys need one too? Ah, thank you. Mr. 3 didn't expect that this unprepossessing bar owner was actually the legendary Rocks pirate. How many big shots does Captain Buggy know? Well, it seems like he is a big shot now too. Are you here just to reminisce about the past? If Marine knew you were here, he would probably go crazy. Shaggy looked at Buggy and suddenly felt a little dazed. The little baby back then has become a world-famous pirate. Shaggy exclaimed. What? Buggy suddenly had a bad feeling. From his memory, he learned that he and Red Hair had lived on Roger's boat since they were young and had no impression of their parents. During the Battle of God Valley, he and Red Hair should have still been babies. It is impossible for Roger to bring two babies to the battlefield. So how did Shaggy meet him? When did Sister Shaggy meet me? Buggy wanted to find out some information. Did I say that? Shaggy realized he had said the wrong thing and quickly made amends. I'm going to go find Rayleigh. You guys are going to get in trouble if you stay here too long. After saying that, she left the pub and went out to find Rayleigh. Buggy originally wanted to get some information from Rayleigh, but he found out something extraordinary. Buggy drummed his fingers on the counter, thinking it couldn't be so ridiculous. From what Shaggy said, he should have been in Rock's pirate when the battle in God Valley took place, otherwise Shaggy would never have seen him. What about Shanks? Was he also in Rock's pirate at the time? Considering that Shanks is connected to the Five Elders, there are celestial dragons in the Valley of the Gods. Could it be that Shanks, the guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, has the blood of celestial dragons? Captain Buggy, are we going to meet Pluton Rayleigh later? Seeing Buggy was still in deep thought, Mr. 3 came up and asked mysteriously. Yeah, is there a second Rayleigh? Buggy said, do you want me to ask Rayleigh to help train you guys? Is it really possible? Mr. 3 was so excited that he almost fainted. That's the Pirates King's right wrist. Alvida and Kabaji standing by were also very excited. It's rare that you guys are so motivated. I can only suggest one thing, but I don't know if Rayleigh agrees or not. Buggy actually had this idea in mind when he approached Rayleigh this time. Although he once teased Rayleigh for being slow in teaching, Buggy and Shanks were taught by Rayleigh, and Roger simply did not have the patience and only taught them a little bit occasionally. Including Luffy, Rayleigh has taught 3-4 emperors. Judging from the results, Kaido can only be a self-taught teacher, while Pluton Rayleigh is the gold medal teacher. Thank you, Captain Buggy. The three of them stood side by side and bowed to Buggy. Just then Rayleigh and Shaggy pushed the door open and saw this scene. I wonder what happened. Long time no see, Deputy Captain Rayleigh. Buggy was the first to greet. Buggy, you've changed a lot. I didn't believe it when Shaggy told me. Rayleigh sighed as she looked at Buggy, whose temperament had changed drastically. Of the two trainees on the ship, long after the red-haired Shanks became 4 emperors, Buggy remained unknown. Rayleigh thought Buggy was digging for treasure all over the world, but he saw him again in the live broadcast during the Summit War. In a short period of time, Buggy went from being a small pirate to a Shichibukai, and then to a 4 emperors, with an unprecedented promotion speed. Then he live-streamed the execution of celestial dragons and brought Shichibukai under his wing, shocking the world. Rayleigh was stunned at the time. Although he thought Buggy was no worse than Shanks, the speed of his rise was too fast. Deputy Captain Rayleigh is still in good shape. Buggy looked at Rayleigh and Shaggy standing together. They didn't seem like they were from the same generation. I always feel like you're plotting against me. Rayleigh disappeared in an instant, and then kicked towards Buggy with her legs wearing the slippers. How could that be? I mean, Vice Captain Rayleigh is old but his heart is young. Buggy also kicked out, and the two conquerors hockey collided with each other. Shaggy at the back suddenly felt something was wrong. Wait a minute, my tavern. But it was too late. A force erupted with the two of them as the center. Everyone on island number 13 felt difficulty breathing, and the weak ones fell to the ground and fainted. The blackmail bar was like a typhoon passing through, and the entire bar was almost reduced to ruins. You two guys, Get out of here. Shaggy got furious. Oh, I forgot for a moment. Rayleigh then realized that he had caused trouble. He winked at Buggy. Let's talk outside. Help Sister Shaggy clean up. Buggy instructed Mr. 3 and the other two, whether that thing can be accomplished or not. Sister Shaggy's opinion is very important, understand? Okay, Captain Buggy, leave it to us. Mr. 3 immediately understood. Shaggy watched Rayleigh and Buggy leave and couldn't help but fall into deep thought. The Conqueror's haki just now was comparable to Rayleigh's. No, Rayleigh no longer has the ambition to dominate the sea, so in the confrontation of momentum, Rayleigh's Conqueror's haki is still at a disadvantage. Is your captain very violent and cruel? Shaggy suddenly asked. Ah, Captain Buggy has a good temper. Mr. 3 was stunned. It was even a little funny before. But he has been quite cruel to his enemies recently. Alvida said, his temper has changed since he killed the celestial dragons. Related to celestial dragons. But Buggy was just a baby at that time. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Shaggy shook his head. Okay, after you finish cleaning up, you should leave as soon as possible. The Marine will know what's going on here. For your captain, the Marine may issue a buster call. Sabayati Archipelago is really a place full of disasters. Chapter 53 I'm just Buggy the Clown. Rayleigh took Buggy to a cliff in the Sabayati Archipelago. Why did you think of visiting an old man like me? Rayleigh asked. I want to get some information from the deputy captain. After all, the deputy captain came back from Raftel. What is there? Buggy asked directly. Hey, if you want to know, you can go and see for yourself. Asking me directly is a cowardly act. Rayleigh wanted to punch Buggy on the head, but suddenly realized that he was no longer the little boy he used to be. Time flies so fast. In a blink of an eye, you and Shanks have become the emperors of the sea. Our era is over. Don't change the subject, mate. I don't have time to go to Raftel. Even Shanks, who vowed to go there, didn't go there. Buggy said, I always feel that the illness came suddenly. Ahahaha, is that so? Rayleigh laughed awkwardly. You're thinking too much. Isn't it normal to be sick? I was in good health back then, how could I get sick? This is as absurd as a girl who aspires to become a swordsman falling from the attic and dying immediately. You little brat, what kind of metaphor are you using? You're saying it's normal. Rayleigh stopped smiling, but I won't tell you anything about Raftel. With your abilities, you can go on your own, Buggy. No time. I still have to work on celestial dragons. Rayleigh was stunned for a moment. Although celestial dragons are not good people, they don't have any hatred against you. There's no grudge. I just didn't like them, so I killed them, said Buggy. He once thought about what would happen if he suddenly possessed powerful strength one day. Will he become a Superman or an ancestor? When he truly possessed power, he realized that he could not become a Superman like the Virgin Mary, because his moral level was not high enough. But he will not become a crazy ancestor, because due to his upbringing, he still has a moral bottom line in his heart. So it's just that I changed from an ordinary person to an ordinary person with great power. My 3 views are relatively normal. I am occasionally a little angry. I can't stand ugly things, but I can also be moved by beautiful things. Before traveling through time, I had no power and could only be a keyboard warrior. After traveling through time, I gained great power and naturally could not let down the gift of fate. If you see something that makes you unhappy, just do it. Captain Rayleigh, if you think of the whole world as your home and your home is crawling with cockroaches, what would you do? Buggy made a metaphor. Of course, kill all the cockroaches. Rayleigh answered subconsciously. Celestial dragons are cockroaches. Their presence makes me uncomfortable, so I have to spend some time cleaning my house so that I can stay at home comfortably. Buggy said. But the world is not your home, so you can't do whatever you want. Rayleigh was stunned as he spoke. Why not? Once I clean up my house, the world will have a new master. Buggy laughed. Is this your ambition? That's outrageous. Rayleigh looked at Buggy in front of him and suddenly remembered the past. A guy in a straw hat invites himself out to sea. The guy grinned and said, Is your name Rayleigh? Let's go turn the world upside down together. He thought the guy was stupid at the time, but he still followed him out to sea for some unknown reason. Roger, did you know that the trainee on board now has bigger ambitions than you? If it were you, you would definitely laugh with pride. What a pity. If it was 40 years earlier, I might have followed you to make a scene, Buggy. Rayleigh said, but now I am old and can only watch from behind as you realize your ambitions. I can't tell you about Raftel, but back in the Valley of the Gods. Is it about your background or something? Don't talk about that. Buggy interrupted Rayleigh directly, I'm just Buggy the Clown. I don't want to get involved in anything messy. Rayleigh didn't know how many times he was surprised. If Shanks were like you, he wouldn't live such a tiring life. Rayleigh sighed. What is his background? I'm still very interested in this. Buggy's curiosity was immediately aroused. You're changing too fast. Rayleigh said unhappily, Shanks is an honest man, I won't tell you. That guy has a daughter who is a singing diva, and he is still an honest man. Shanks probably got a lot of information from the deputy captain. Deputy captain, please be fair and tell me some secret information. Shanks probably knew nothing when Roger was executed, but later he inexplicably stole the Nika fruit and took the fruit to East Blue, entrusting the Nika fruit and the straw hat to Luffy. Buggy concluded that Rayleigh was involved. Before his death, Roger entrusted most things to Rayleigh. That won't do. I can see that you are just like Roger back then, a guy who only wants to cause chaos. Telling you the secret will only cause greater unrest. Shanks is different. His personality is more like mine, steady and reliable. That's enough. I remember the deputy captain played a lot of tricks back then. Do you want me to talk to Sister Shaki about it? Buggy noticed that Rayleigh had switched to self-boasting mode and quickly interrupted him. After asking for a long time, I didn't get any useful information. I wish Rayleigh's personality was like Zontaomaru. Are you looking for a fight? Rayleigh's veins popped out. If you make Shaki angry by talking nonsense, I won't let you go. Then help me train my men, that should be fine. Buggy stated his real purpose. It's those guys in the bar. You exaggerated their bounties. Their abilities are obviously not up to par, but their bounties are exaggerated. Rayleigh saw through Mr. 3 and his friend's abilities at a glance. They really have great potential, but I don't know how to teach them. Is there any quick way to learn hockey? Buggy asked. How is that possible? Hockey needs to lay a solid foundation step by step. What's that look in your eyes? Rayleigh noticed that there was something wrong with Buggy's eyes. Am I wrong? Right, then I'll leave them to you. When will you be able to finish the training? It won't take 2 years, right? I don't have that much time. 1 year will be enough. If there were some things that couldn't be told to Buggy, Rayleigh wouldn't have gone to the trouble of teaching a few more apprentices. Then I'll go directly to the Seven Seas capital. Buggy said goodbye to Rayleigh. Be careful, celestial dragons are not as simple as you think, Buggy. Rayleigh warned. I know. By the way, mate, I have one more thing that I am very confused about, although it is a bit absurd. Before leaving, Buggy still asked the doubts in his heart. Why do I feel like Straw Hat Luffy looks exactly like Captain Roger when he was young? Chapter 54. Brother Ming, now I only pursue excitement. Buggy, you are so sexy. How are they the same? Don't talk nonsense. Luffy just has a shadow of Roger. That child, like Roger, has a heart that yearns for freedom. Besides, how old is Luffy? The age doesn't match at all. Ah, I was just asking casually, no need to explain so much. Buggy could see that Rayleigh was a little flustered. I just think Luffy's appearance and personality are similar to Captain Roger, nothing else. Buggy, don't talk about this kind of thing. You know how much the world government hates Captain Roger. After learning that Captain Roger had offspring, they conducted a thorough search and searched all babies born in the same age range. Rayleigh's expression turned serious. Buggy knew all these things, of course, and also knew that Ace had been in Rouge's belly for 20 months. This is impossible for ordinary people. Even if the mother has a strong willpower, the child in her belly cannot bear it. Unless Rouge is demon fruit power. Rouge is from South Blue. She has a devil fruit that controls life. She dies after giving birth to Ace. The devil fruit is obtained by Bonnie from South Blue. But it's just speculation after all, and Buggy is not a Shinigami Elementary School student who must find out the truth. Don't worry, I'm the most secretive man in the world. I won't talk about such things. Buggy promised. That's good. Rayleigh was relieved. Let's go now. I get a headache just seeing you. Who are you? Foo. Two wanted criminals are chatting here so unscrupulously. Did they think the marine is just a decoration? The devilish laughter, the pink suit, and the weird walking posture. Doflamingo, why are you wearing CP0's clothes? Buggy didn't expect that Doflamingo, who was reading a newspaper in Impel Down, would come out. In pursuit of excitement, I cooperated with the world government. So, are you surprised, Buggy the clown? Doflamingo expected to see a look of shock in Buggy's eyes. Unexpectedly, Buggy's mouth curled up slightly. You're so sexy. You are so flirty, so flirty, so flirty. For a moment Doflamingo's mind stopped functioning. By the time he realized what Buggy had said, murderous intent could no longer be suppressed and emanated from him. Buggy the clown, are you looking down on me? Ah, no, I just think this outfit doesn't suit you. You'd better dress like a flamboyant flamingo. The white line of the wild waves. Tens of thousands of transparent white threads were arranged horizontally and spurted out from Doflamingo's hands, forming a raging wave-like attack, trying to strangle Buggy. Faced with such an attack, Buggy didn't even bother to dodge, and the white line of Wongling directly penetrated his body. Is it an illusion? No, Doflamingo's observation haki clearly sensed that Buggy's body was here, but the white line of Arakami seemed to hit the air. Although it's not the up-down fruit, it's more restrained than the up-down fruit. The string fruit is no threat to the chop fruit at all. Rayleigh had already seen that when Arakami's white line attacked, Buggy's body had been split apart, and Doflamingo's attack was completely ineffective. Damn it, why don't you do anything? What made Doflamingo even angrier than not being able to hit the enemy was the enemy's indifference. Fight back. Bang! Buggy used flash and punched Doflamingo in the face with a fist covered in armament haki, sending him flying. This is the first time I've heard of such a request. What are you doing here, Doflamingo? I should be the one asking you this, Buggy the clown. Why are you here in Sabayati Archipelago at this hour? And alone? Doflamingo was not hurt much. He was preparing on island number 1 in the Sabayati Archipelago when his men monitoring Pluton Rayleigh sent him a message saying that they had seen the traces of 4 emperors, enemy of God Buggy. He thought his plan was exposed, so he hurried over. I'm free to go wherever I want. Buggy felt a little ridiculous. Do I need to report to you? UB********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* Marine headquarters, and you come here alone. Aren't you afraid of being besieged by the Marine admirals? Doflamingo said, gritting his teeth. Are you concerned about me? Buggy suddenly felt a chill and quickly searched his memory. Our relationship is not that good. Before my grand plan begins, I don't want the protagonist to be unable to show up due to stupid behavior. Doflamingo showed his annoying smile again. It's incomprehensible, so I'd better kill you. Lieutenant Captain Rayleigh, let's go together. Buggy found that Doflamingo was tending to develop into the Riddler. Wait a minute, don't you want to hear what my plan is? Doflamingo didn't expect Buggy to play by his own rules. No, I'm busy and don't have time to play house with you. Buggy was ready to take action. In 1 month, I will be planning a conflict that will surpass the Summit War, right here. Doflamingo said quickly, Celestial Dragons, Marines, 4 Emperors, and all the pirates who aspire to compete for the title of Pirate King will gather here to engage in an unprecedented battle. You would also like to see such a scene, Buggy the Clown. Before Buggy could say anything, Pluton Rayleigh became angry. He jumped forward, grabbed Doflamingo by the collar, and pulled him down. What do you want to do in the Sabayati archipelago? Doflamingo, believe it or not, I will kill you right now. I just want to see strong men fighting each other and blood flowing like a river. Isn't that very interesting? Foo 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 foo. Doflamingo laughed. Killing me is useless. The plan has been approved by the 5 elders. Killing me will still carry out the plan, but it will only make things more chaotic. Only I can control this. Do you want to take a gamble, Pluton Rayleigh? You guy. Rayleigh found that Doflamingo didn't care about his life at all, and he couldn't do it. I suggest you kill him, Captain Rayleigh. No matter what the outcome, at least Doflamingo can die with regret. Buggy said. But the safety of Sabayati Archipelago. We can talk about that later. Anyway, we can't let the enemy get what they want. Otherwise, wouldn't that be stupid? Doflamingo saw that Rayleigh was a little moved and finally panicked. Just like Buggy said, he is not afraid of death, but before he dies he at least wants to see the grand scene that he planned, otherwise he will die with regrets. Wait, I can change the plan and move the location of this war to an uninhabited desert island. Doflamingo said. Buggy sighed. Doflamingo wouldn't die this time. Sure enough, Rayleigh kicked him away. If you can't do this, I will kill you no matter where you run. Don't worry, I will definitely do what I say. Doflamingo didn't want to stay here anymore. Buggy the Clown, I will send you an invitation when the time comes. I will also give you a reason you can't refuse. Chapter 55. If you don't know what to do, it's always right to hit Blackbeard. Thanks for the invitation. I'm in Wano Kuni and I'm very busy. I'll see if I can come when the time comes. Buggy said casually. Doflamingo wanted to say something, but thinking that Buggy didn't play by the rules, it was better to leave here first. Why did this guy become like this? Rayleigh looked at Doflamingo's back. He would even give up his own life just to take revenge on the world. He's broken, his mentality has collapsed, and he's become a madman, said Buggy. What's an exception? Rayleigh didn't understand what this meant. For example, you were once the world's top player, defying everyone. But as time went on, you suddenly became a draw with everyone, or even lost, and finally got stepped on and shit on by the newcomers. You work hard to practice, but you find that there are more and more newcomers who can step on your head and shit on you, and the gap in strength is getting bigger and bigger, so, bang. Buggy spread his hands and said, my mentality exploded. Rayleigh shuddered. That sounds pretty miserable. What's so tragic about that? Even if it's an exception, his strength is still top-notch, and he lives better than more than 99% of the people in the world. Buggy said calmly, if this is considered miserable, then what about ordinary people who have a hard time surviving? Doflamingo is nothing but a proud giant baby. So I was wrong and should have listened to you and killed him directly. Rayleigh felt ashamed. Could it be that he is too old and therefore not as decisive as the young people today? He's already run away. Besides, it's okay to keep him. If he stays in the world government, he will just be a troublemaker. Buggy said. Doflamingo does not belong to any faction now, maybe he would rather the celestial dragons die completely. But I have to hurry and eliminate the unstable factors before Doflamingo causes trouble. Buggy was already considering whether to go to the Seven Water City. Shipbuilders could be recruited at any time, but some things had higher priority. Unstable factors. How can you eliminate unstable factors if you don't even know Doflamingo's plan? Rayleigh asked. Doflamingo wants to bring together celestial dragons, marine, 4 emperors, and some ambitious pirates. Regardless of what method he uses, the enemy and friend relationships of these forces are basically clear. There is only one guy who is isolated and does not fit in, but he has strength. That's the Blackbeard Pirates, Buggy said. You're going to go to war with the Blackbeard Pirates. Rayleigh had seen the strength of the Blackbeard Pirates during the Summit War live broadcast. They are quite strong. With the power of the dark fruit and the shock fruit, Rayleigh felt a little weak against Blackbeard. Although the Buggy Pirates have several Shichibukai members joining them, Rayleigh feels that their strength is about the same as the Blackbeard Pirates. If you don't know what to do, it's always a good idea to fight Blackbeard. Buggy said, Second Captain, do you have Shanks' contact information? Yes, I do. What do you want to do? Wait, you don't want to form an alliance with Shanks to fight Blackbeard? Correct. Buggy snapped his fingers. Since we are going to fight the Blackbeard Pirates, we must unite all the forces we can. 4 emperors against 1, you really figured it out. Rayleigh thought Buggy's thinking was really unique. Who said to? I have the contact information of the Straw Hat Pirates. They haven't gone far yet, so why not invite them to join in the fun? Buggy said. Rayleigh opened her mouth, but didn't know what to say for a moment. What sin did Blackbeard commit to be targeted by this kid? Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by others? If Shanks and Luffy agree to your request, and 3-4 emperors are fighting against 1, how will the world view you? They will think that you don't have the arrogance of a strong person. Rayleigh said. Arrogance of the strong. What the hell is that? As the captain of the pirates, the first thing you should consider is the safety of your crew. If you have nothing to do, come and help, Deputy Captain. Buggy suddenly thought of Rayleigh, who is also one of the top fighters. This is a competition between your next generation. I don't want to get involved. Rayleigh pulled out a pair of Den Mushi and said, you can talk to Shanks later. It's up to him whether he agrees or not. There's a white Den Mushi that can't be tapped. Do you guys often discuss secrets? Buggy didn't expect Rayleigh to be so cautious in contacting Shanks. The world government knows I'm in the Sabayati archipelago, so I'd better be careful, Rayleigh said. Ever since the battle with Kizaru, Rayleigh discovered that someone was watching him. But he just wanted to live in seclusion and didn't want to break off relations with the world government, so he ignored those monitors. The world government didn't want to mess with a powerful person who basically didn't care about worldly affairs, so they didn't make any big moves. However, Rayleigh added a safeguard to the contact information to prevent others from eavesdropping. Rayleigh dialed the Den Mushi, and soon the voice of the red-haired Shanks came through the Den Mushi. Captain Rayleigh, what's going on? It's not me looking for you, it's another annoying guy. Rayleigh handed the Den Mushi to Buggy. Hey, Shanks, it's me looking for you. You are? Buggy. Den Mushi was very surprised. You are with Vice Captain Rayleigh. Yes, Deputy Captain Rayleigh also told me a lot of secrets, including. Let's get down to business, or give me the Den Mushi. Rayleigh glared at Buggy and said to the Den Mushi, don't listen to his nonsense. He knows nothing. Don't let him trick you in the future. Den Mushi laughed. Buggy, you've changed a lot. What's the matter? Remember the fat black guy when we fought the Whitebeard pirates? Buggy asked. Blackbeard teach. Den Mushi turned serious. What's wrong? Did he cause you trouble? No, this guy is the one who wants to cause trouble for Blackbeard, Rayleigh thought. I said he was a monster then, and now it's come true. Buggy paused. Shanks, give me a favor, let's work together to wipe out the Blackbeard pirates. Den Mushi didn't reply for a long time. Just when Buggy was wondering if it was hungry and the signal was bad, Den Mushi finally spoke. I don't think I heard you clearly just now, what do you want to do? I'm talking about the Buggy Pirates and the Red Hair Pirates. Do you want to work together to destroy the Blackbeard Pirates? Buggy repeated. After hearing the voice of Den Mushi, all was silent on the Red Force. Wait, I'm confused. Buggy, you called me and started a war between the 3-4 emperors. Red-haired Shanks scratched his head. Isn't that a bit casual? Chapter 56. The 3 Emperors, Alliance, the sky is full of Momonosuke. When did you become such a fussy person, Shanks? Shanks felt the Den Mushi in his hand looking at him with contempt. This is not like your character. Why do you suddenly want to fight a life and death battle with the Blackbeard pirates? Shanks didn't know how Blackbeard had offended Buggy. They shouldn't have had any intersection. Do you need a reason to hate someone? Ah, don't you need it? Sony, no, Blackbeard is guilty of a heinous crime, causing resentment from the world. This cancer should be removed from the 4 emperors. Don't you think Blackbeard's behavior is incompatible with us 4 emperors? It is our responsibility to purify the 4 emperors, ethos and restore the 4 emperors, glory. Said the Den Mushi in Shanks' hand righteously. Well, Shanks felt that Blackbeard's behavior was more like that of a pirate, and it was the 3 of them who were out of place. Buggy, stop joking. I have to be responsible for my crew. I can't fight the Blackbeard pirates for this reason. Shanks said helplessly. The key point is that Buggy is talking about a life and death battle, which is different from a simple conflict. Shanks, Blackbeard is a dangerous enemy. He is like a lion majesty hiding in the shadows. He might pop out and bite us at any time. Shanks said calmly, why should we allow a guy like him to grow stronger? Captain, let me ask you a few questions. Beckman on the side also heard the voice of Den Den Mushi. Captain Buggy, if you were to fight the Blackbeard pirates, how many forces would your Buggy pirates deploy? Beckman asked. Of course all of them. All the former Shichibukai are dispatched, plus the 3 disasters Jin, Jack and the 5 flying sextuplets from the former Beasts pirates. Den Den Mushi said. When did the Buggy pirates absorb the Beasts pirates? Beckman was shocked. But why do I feel like there are a few senior officials missing? Beckman remembered that the Buggy pirates still had a few officials with a billion bounty. Those guys, it's okay if they go, but don't expect them to contribute much. They can only do odd jobs. Den Den Mushi said. I see. Beckman looked at Shanks. Captain, I think we can do it. Just like Captain Buggy said, Blackbeard is a dangerous enemy. This is a rare opportunity. Let's kill him together. Teach. Shanks thought of that arrogant man, and the scar on his face felt a little painful again. What are your opinions? Shanks looked at the other cadres. I heard that there's a very strong sniper in the Blackbeard pirates. Usopp whistled. I want to see him. I heard that the captain was evenly matched with Captain Buggy in the past. We can't let him lose this time. Lackey Lu swallowed the meat in his hand and smiled innocently. Other cadres also joined in the commotion. Let's see which of the twin stars of Roger Pirates is stronger, Captain. You guys. Shanks shook his head helplessly and said to the Den Den Mushi in his hand, I agree, Buggy, when are we going to deal with Blackbeard? You go to Wano Kuni first, and we'll meet up there. Since we're going to do this, we have to make sure it's foolproof, said the Den Den Mushi in his hand. There's no such thing as foolproof. The other side is the real 4 Emperors group and they are very powerful. Shanks said. Even if Blackbeard is defeated, there is a high chance that he can escape. So I'm going to do my best. Okay, I'm hanging up now. Goodbye Wano Kuni. Buggy hung up the Den Den Mushi and said, I've got one. Rayleigh looked on speechlessly. Why didn't you tell Shanks that you were going to contact Luffy? They will prepare well only when they are under pressure. Besides, I can't guarantee that Luffy will come. Buggy took out a new Den Den Mushi. Hello, is this Luffy? Ah, Buggy, what's wrong? Luffy's voice came from the Den Den Mushi. You guys haven't gone far yet. I'm going to fight the Blackbeard pirates. Do you want to help? Buggy said. Huh, the Den Den Mushi in Buggy's hand jumped up. Why? I don't like him. Oh, let me discuss it. The Den Den Mushi in Buggy's hand stopped moving. On the Thousand Sunny, Luffy informed the crew of the news he had received. 4 Emperors Blackbeard. Is that the disgusting-looking guy? Nami asked, but we just defeated Kaido and Big Mom, do we have to attack the third 4 Emperors? If Nami hadn't told me, I wouldn't have noticed. If we defeat Blackbeard, then we will have defeated 3 of the 4 Emperors. Haha, Luffy laughed. Are you eager to go, Luffy? Zoro realized the meaning behind Luffy's words. A little bit. After all, he was the cause of Ace's death. Ace must hate him, Luffy said, but this has nothing to do with Raftel after all. It's an unnecessary battle. You are the captain, your enemies are our enemies. Go, Luffy, Zoro said. That's right, we've defeated 2 4 Emperors, so a third won't be a big deal. Sanji lit a cigarette. Are we going to fight the 4 Emperors again? Usopp's legs felt a little weak. I don't need to be the first aid this time. Is Blackbeard very powerful, more powerful than Kaido? Yamato asked. She used to think that although Kaido was hateful, he was indeed the strongest man in the world. It's hard to say about his strength, but his character is much worse than Kaido's. Luffy thought about what Blackbeard had done and made a judgment. Is there such a despicable guy? Yamato felt that Kaido was already very bad. Blackbeard's character is indeed very bad. Honest Fish Jinbei said, I support the captain's choice. We are also the 4 emperors now. Suddenly, I feel that the 4 emperors are not so scary. Make your decision, Luffy. Robin said. Okay then. Luffy picked up the Den Den Mushi and shouted, Buggy, we agree to go to war with the Blackbeard pirates. Don't be so loud. Den Den Mushi said with disdain, can you contact Law and Kid? Tell them that this is a chance to be promoted to 4 emperors, and it may be their only chance in this life. Oh, that's right, Kira is quite concerned about the location of the 4 emperors. Luffy suddenly realized, then I will find them. Let's go back to Wano Kuni, that's my territory now, said Den Den Mushi. Wano Kuni was defeated so quickly, what about Peach? Luffy asked. Yamato beside him also pricked up his ears. The sky is full of. Hey, Peach turns into a dragon and flies in the sky. No, I scattered his ashes. Chapter 57. Is not enough, give me 10 first. Luffy is more straightforward. Shanks is too fussy. I think 4 emperors is his peak. After hanging up the Den Den Mushi, Buggy sighed. Don't be so ungrateful. Shanks has already promised you. Rayleigh felt helpless. What was originally a complicated matter was accomplished by this kid with just a few words. This is not just going out for a meal, but an all-out war between the 4 emperors. It will definitely shock the whole world and the impact it will bring is difficult to estimate. I just care about him. I used to know a guy who was very nagging. He was very powerful, but he was naive to death. He wanted to protect everything, but in the end, he didn't protect anything. I don't want Shanks to follow in his footsteps. Buggy put the Den Den Mushi away and began to fumble in the package again. Rayleigh saw him take out a new Den Den Mushi and suddenly had a bad feeling. Wait, you don't want to call for help again? Of course, I said I would try my best, Buggy said. Rayleigh was completely numb. Did Blackbeard dig up your ancestors' graves? That's why you hate him so much. Hey, is this dragon? I heard you had some grudge against Blackbeard, and now there's a chance. Do you want to seek revenge? This call was brief and Long quickly agreed. Although he said that perhaps not many Revolutionary Army cadres would go, he himself would still go. It seems that he hates Blackbeard as well. This is the dragon of the Revolutionary Army. You might as well call Garp as well. Rayleigh complained. I want to, too, but I don't have his contact information. I can't go to the Marine headquarters to look for him. Buggy put away the Den Den Mushi. It's easy to find reasons to persuade Garp. Garp, you don't want your son and grandson to get hurt, do you? You really have this plan. Rayleigh sighed, but your appeal is too strong. Pirates are not just about fighting and killing, they are also about the ways of the world. Buggy couldn't help but laugh when he saw Rayleigh's thoughtful look. Just kidding, it's mainly because Blackbeard has P*********** D off too many people. I'll take Mr. 3 and the others away first, and let them come back after this war is over. It will be good for them to see the war between the 4 emperors. Buggy said. I can only see it for myself. Even if there are twice as many Blackbeard pirates officers, there won't be enough to share. To be honest, if Rayleigh wasn't so embarrassed, she really wanted to go and take a look. Mainly I want to see Blackbeard's expression, it must be very exciting. Why don't you do a live broadcast, like when you killed celestial dragons? Rayleigh thought of a compromise. It's not impossible. Buggy thought about it and decided that there would be no problem with Morgans. This was also earth-shattering news. But this way, I will become the first target of the world government. Aren't you now? Rayleigh couldn't understand. They had already killed the celestial dragons, so they were already mortal enemies. It's different. My current strength is still within their acceptable range. If they knew I can mobilize so much power, the 5 elders probably wouldn't be able to sleep. Buggy laughed. A powerful pirates captain and a pirates captain who can mobilize almost half of the world's forces have different levels of threat in the eyes of the world government. That's right. Rayleigh understood. The scale of this battle should exceed the Summit War. But in the end it's because you called too many people, so will you still broadcast live? Rayleigh asked. Of course we have to broadcast it live. Such an interesting thing should be seen by the whole world. Buggy laughed out loud. Isn't the purpose of clowns to bring joy to others? Rayleigh was stunned for a moment, then put his arm around Buggy's shoulders affectionately and laughed as well. You've become a remarkable guy. Roger, Buggy is more like you than Shanks. Screw the prophecy. If you were still alive, you would definitely support Buggy to become the king of pirates. However, this kid's ambition is bigger than yours, and he might even look down on this title. The two of them returned to the blackmail bar arm in arm, shocking Shaggy and the others. Mr. 3 and others were very excited. Could it be that their apprenticeship was successful? But Buggy's next words made them feel disappointed. Pack your things. We won't go to the Seven Water City for now. Ah, then what is the purpose of our coming out? Mr. 3 was stunned. If there are other emergencies, just go back to the ship. Buggy waved his hand. By the way, Sister Shaggy, do you know where Whitebeard's hometown is? FK. Rayleigh couldn't help but curse before Shaggy could say anything. It's never going to end, right? What's wrong? Shaggy looked at Rayleigh in confusion. As an intelligence dealer in Sabayati Archipelago and an old friend of Rock's pirate, she naturally knew the location of Whitebeard's hometown. Blackbeard may not be human, but you are really a coward. Rayleigh punched Buggy directly. Nothing. The mate is old and still has old ideas. Since Rayleigh didn't use hockey, Buggy got hit directly, and it hurt a bit. Here you go. Shaggy recorded the location of Whitebeard's hometown into the pointer. I won't charge you this time. It's just a reward for their help. Shaggy said, pointing at the pub which had become clean and tidy. Mr. 3 even thoughtfully applied a layer of wax on it. Thank you. Next time I'll ask them to bring more Wano-kuni specialties when they come to become my apprentices. Buggy took the pointer, wondering how many members of the Whitebeard pirates were left. In fact, their fighting power cannot affect the overall situation. Buggy just wants to give them a chance for revenge. Then let's go. Buggy prepared to leave with the trio of happy people, and before leaving, he reminded them, don't forget to watch the live broadcast. Don't worry, I don't want to miss such an interesting thing. Rayleigh smiled. Buggy feels a little disappointed that he cannot receive rewards during live broadcast, otherwise he would be able to make a small fortune. What Vegapunk should study most is Den Den Mushi. Wouldn't it be much more convenient if a Den Den Mushi network could be built in the pirates' world? As Buggy sets sail, a party is going on Cake Island. Countless green Baileys were flying in the sky, and Blackbeard was sitting on a throne made of banknotes, laughing wildly. Ha 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 ha, the world government is really generous. Those slaves were sold at high prices. Captain Blackbeard is so awesome. Everything else is fake, only Bailey is real. 3 beautiful women dressed seductively snuggled up to Blackbeard. A beautiful woman gave Blackbeard a bottle of fine wine, and Blackbeard laughed after drinking it. Ha 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 ha, you're right, money, beauty, and power are what pirates should pursue. Are there any new beauties? Hate it, Captain, aren't having the 3 of us enough? The beauties said coquettishly. 3 is not enough, give me at least 10, thief ha 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 ha. Chapter 58. The Black Group Gathers, the White Group Remnants. Captain, Doflamingo's call. Lafitte brought a pink Den Den Mushi. Give it to me quickly, if it weren't for him, these slaves wouldn't have been able to act so quickly. Blackbeard took the Den Den Mushi and said, ha 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 ha, Doflamingo, do you have a new deal? Doflamingo's voice came from the pink Den Den Mushi. Blackbeard, there will be an unprecedented slave auction near Sabayati Archipelago soon. I will lure Buggy the Clown and the Straw Hat Boy here. Don't forget our agreement. Of course. Blackbeard grabbed a handful of Baileys, we'll discuss it when we pay. But are you sure they'll come? The condition of this deal is to help Doflamingo deal with the 2 4 emperors, but Blackbeard does not think that the slave auction will be able to lure them out. If you meet them on the road, you might do something about it, but asking them to take a detour to do good deeds, do you think they are saints? Don't worry about that. This slave auction will not only have slaves from all nations, but also a group of mermaids from Mermaid Island. The one who commissioned the auction is a branch of the royal family of Alabasta. The Den Den Mushi wearing sunglasses laughed proudly. both of these places have close ties with the Straw Hat Boy, he won't ignore it. As for the Buggy Pirates, Den Mushi paused, I'm not completely sure. But the buyer of the slaves this time is Celestial Dragons. If he doesn't come, it will be a big blow to his reputation. Ha 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 ha, you are worthy of being here, Doflamingo. Blackbeard grinned, but I have to make it clear in advance that I won't be the first one to go over there. If you want me to take action, you world government must show sincerity first. Of course, although there is only one Marine Admiral who will obey my orders. But once the fight starts, won't Celestial Dragons continue to dispatch people? All you have to do is to give them a fatal blow from behind. Ha 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 ha, hearing you say that, I'm already excited. I'm waiting for your news, Doflamingo. After ending the call, Blackbeard threw the Den Mushi to Lafitte. Call all members of the pirates, let's give those guys a surprise. Blackbeard ordered. Captain, is Doflamingo's plan reliable? Lafitte asked. Don't worry about that. If the world government doesn't fight them to the point of mutual destruction, we won't take action. Blackbeard lay on the throne made of Bailey and licked his lips. Whether it's Luffy or Buggy, their fruit abilities look pretty good. But I can only choose one. Which one should I choose? Then I'll go gather some people. By the way, do we need to bring Aokiji with us? Lafitte asked. He always felt that Aokiji was untrustworthy, but Blackbeard insisted on taking him in. Of course, let me see his performance this time. If his performance doesn't match his strength. Blackbeard's eyes flashed with a fierce light, then let's draw out his fruit ability. But now, let's just have fun. Ha 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 ha. Is this the place? Whitebeard's hometown. Buggy's boat approached an unnamed island. According to the direction of the pointer, this is the right place, but it looks very poor. Mr. Three's legs turned into candles and continued to rise higher, so he went to a higher place to check the situation on the island. Shall we look around, Captain Buggy? No need. Buggy directly released Conqueror's Haki, and the momentum soared into the sky, affecting the entire island. After a while, a blue phoenix flew over from a distance and looked at this side hesitantly. It was Marco. Hey, Marco, long time no see. Buggy greeted. You're Buggy. After confirming his identity, Marco relaxed his guard. During the Summit War, both sides could be considered friendly forces. The phoenix flew to the ship and transformed into a human form. What are you doing here? Let's pay tribute to Whitebeard. After all, he once opened up an era. Buggy took out the wine on the boat. After Roger volunteered to die in before the Summit War, it was Whitebeard's era. It's a pity that he has no ambition and only wants to have sons everywhere. Come with me. Marco's expression eased a lot. Dad would be very happy if he knew you were here. He brought Buggy and others to the island and came to a cemetery. The Kusugome Kiri, one of the 12 supreme swords, is used as a tombstone, with the flag of the Whitebeard Pirates flying on it. On the left is Ace's grave, with his hat. Another new one was built on the right, containing 2 flintlock rifles. Buggy poured himself a bowl of wine, drank it all in one gulp, and then poured the remaining wine on the open space in front of the tomb. I really miss the Summit War. As a senior among the 4 emperors, you raised the 4 emperors to a level that did not belong to them, and fought against the whole world on your own. After that, 4 emperors quickly fell into disrepair. Of course, Charlotte Linlin was terrible, but Kaido did his best. Buggy sat cross-legged in front of the tomb and said slowly, the new era is not as interesting as the old era. Hey, what are you talking about? Marco didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I thought you came to talk to your dad about the past. You're also a terrible slacker, Marco. When the Roger Pirates fought the Whitebeard Pirates, you were the only one among the 4 newcomers who didn't fit in with us. Buggy teased. If you don't know how to speak, just say less. Marco felt insulted, but the key was that he couldn't refute. Old man, we, the Buggy Pirates, are about to go to war with the Blackbeard Pirates. Let us take the life of your rebellious son. Buggy stood up. Next time, I'll bring Blackbeard's head to honor you. Wait, what did you just say? Marco grabbed Buggy's shoulders. We, the Buggy Pirates, are going to war with the Blackbeard Pirates. Buggy said, did you understand? But why, you two don't have any intersection. In order to make the new era more interesting, we can't let the old guys from the old era look down on us. Buggy pushed Marco's hand away. We've paid tribute to the old guy, it's time for us to go. Before he had taken a few steps, Marco's voice came from behind, when? Huh, what did you say? Buggy turned around and asked. When will you start the war with the Blackbeard Pirates? Marco asked. Soon. If you want to know, come find me at Wano-kuni. But, remember to bring Kurokumo Kiri. Quote. Rather than leaving it here as a tombstone, I think the old man would rather it drink the blood of the enemy on the battlefield. Chapter 59 Kizaru's Undercover Life and the Widow. Boss, give me some Oden. A tall man sat down in front of a stall. Customer, you are here again. The stall owner greeted him warmly. Have you found a job? Found it. The man was a little frustrated. Here, this is the food stamp and Bailey. Haha, I can tell you're new here by looking at the customer. The stall owner said with a smile, wait a moment, it will be ready soon. Are there many new people here? The man asked. Yes, ever since Commander Buggy took over Wano-kuni, new people have been coming here all the time. When they first arrived, they were all as uncomfortable as you, the guest. The stall owner put 9 kinds of ingredients, including eggs, radishes, potatoes, kelp, konjac, fish balls, and bamboo wheels, into the iron pot, then struck a pose and shouted. Oden's true colors are revealed after a lot of hard work. The man was startled. What are you doing? It's just to add some sense of ritual. Please wait a moment, the Oden will become more delicious as it cooks. The stall owner explained hurriedly. Why is this thing called Oden? The man asked curiously as he smelled the fragrance coming from the iron pot. This all starts with the full Oden. The stall owner began his skillful introduction. After listening to the introduction, the man said that it was difficult to understand. Although Oden is indeed a little stupid, he is also a man. Why do you hate him so much? It's a bit outrageous that they even created a snack with the same name as Oden. Because during the years when he didn't resist, my parents starved to death, my child drank poisoned water and was poisoned to death, my wife committed suicide out of despair, and I was left alone, living like a walking corpse. Later they said that a new and invincible general had defeated Kaido, but the lives of us poor people remained unchanged until the arrival of Commander Buggy. Most of the samurai and gangsters who bullied us were killed by Commander Buggy, and the rest were scared out of their wits and went to work. Our lives have become better now. The stall owner introduced it in a long stream, so I developed Oden under the name of Oden. How does it taste when you try it? I won't talk about how the man felt about the taste, but he felt that it tasted weird. In fact, gangsters are also very loyal, and their nature is not bad. There was a short old man sitting next to the man, also tasting Oden. Forget it. They are only loyal to their companions. To poor people like us, they are like jackals. Where do most of the geishas on the red light district come from? They are the daughters of loan sharks who can't pay back the money. The stall owner cursed. Ah, the old man sighed and left the stall. You can tell at first glance that he is a gangster. What bad luck. The stall owner was still not satisfied and continued to curse. Well, it looks like he's still got some skills. The man looked at the old man's back and thought he was quite a strong man. Sir, your Oden is ready. The stall owner put a handful of skewers on a plate and handed it to the man. Forget it, pack it for me. If I hadn't heard the story, I might have been able to eat. But after hearing the story, I suddenly lost my appetite. Okay. The stall owner packed the skewers neatly. Customers, remember to come again next time. I'm going to develop a new dish called sukiyaki. Okay. The man waved his hand and took the Oden back to his workplace, a tea house converted into a school. Teacher Wentai is back and brought some delicious food. The children playing outside the house saw the man and shouted happily. It's the recently famous Oden. The teacher looks fierce, but he is actually a good person. A group of children surrounded the man. Take it and share it among you. You can't fight over it. Got it. The man shared the Oden in his hand with the children. Yeah, Teacher Wentai is awesome. The children cheered. The man entered the room and a gentle voice sounded. Mr. Bunta, please wait a moment, I will help you change your shoes. A young Japanese woman hurried over to help him change his shoes. The young woman is wearing a black kimono, the attire of a Wano-kuni widow. Ah, Miss Suru, I can do it myself. The man was a little embarrassed. It's okay, this is Wano-kuni's tradition. Suru helped the man change his shoes and considerately brushed off the dust on his body. Mr. Bunta went out to eat but gave his meal to those kids. I'll go make you some more, Suru said gently. At this time, the voice of the children outside was heard. Give me a bunch of Kanjuro. I want Kinemon. Suru's expression dimmed for a moment, but soon returned to normal. Mr. Bunta, please wait a moment. Watching Suru walking towards the kitchen, the man couldn't help but wonder, are all the women in Wano-kuni so gentle? If this continues, I will feel guilty. Damn Sakazuki, why did you send me here? The man was Kizaru. After sneaking into Wano-kuni, he found that at his age, he couldn't even afford to eat if he didn't work. There was no other choice, so he found a job as a teacher under the pseudonym Takakura Bunta. Kizaru went up to the second floor, opened the window, and jumped onto the roof. Several rays of light came from the distance, and the entire flower city was in full view. Prism of light, Kizaru's skill. By using his power to place some prisms in the distance, Kizaru can direct his sight to wherever the light shines. And there is no need to worry about being blocked by buildings, because there are prisms set up by Kizaru in the sky. Of course, it can only be used during the day, it is too conspicuous at night. Kizaru never revealed this skill, and even the Marines didn't know about it. If people knew that I had this ability, I would be hated. Through the prism of light you can discover many secrets from time to time, and sometimes you can see scenery that makes your eyes brighten up. Anyway, ever since he developed this skill, Kizaru's body has become weaker and weaker. The flower city was still as peaceful as usual, which was totally unlike a country ruled by pirates. And Buggy the Clown doesn't seem to be here either. Only their cadres can be seen in the flower city. Suddenly, a signal came from a prism in the distance, which was the direction of the port. Through the projection of the clouds, Kizaru discovered that a ship was approaching the port. Is this Neo Marine? Kizaru recognized the ship's flag, and Ian and Bin's standing on the bow deck. Isn't Neo Marine still disbanded? Are these guys actually trying to join the pirates? Where are these guys' brains? Just because Buggy said a few good words for Mr. Zephyr, did they consider him as their own? Kizaru watched as the Neo Marine ship pulled into the harbor. If Sakazuki knew how depraved you were, he would never let you go. Forget it, for the sake of Teacher Zephyr, I'll let you go. Mr. Bunta, please come down and have dinner. Suru's gentle voice sounded. An idea suddenly occurred to Kizaru. If it could stay peaceful here forever, it would be nice to enjoy my retirement life here. Chapter 60. Going Back in Time, Changing the Biology of the World. May 17th, sunny. Buggy the Clown returned to the flower capital today and immediately gathered all the cadres together. It seems that something important is going to happen. Wano-kuni seems to have a force operating in secret. Every time they touch my prism surveillance range, they immediately leave. Even the prism in the sky can't detect their traces. Children are annoying, but Ms. Suru makes delicious rice balls. A Marine is joining us. Buggy, who had just returned to the flower city, received a shocking piece of news. They can't really be called Marines. They're just some guys that split off from Marines, namely Zephyr's Neo Marines. Crocodile said. Oh, is there a beautiful lady with long wavy ocean blue hair in there? Buggy asked immediately. Ahem, Captain, please look after your image. Crocodile said, everyone is here. What do you mean by that look? Am I that kind of person? Buggy noticed that there was something wrong with Crocodile's look. This person's fruit ability is very useful to me. Ah, yes, you are the captain, and whatever you say is what's meant. But since you have just come back and called us together, you'd better finish the business first. Everybody is busy, Crocodile said. Buggy looked around and found that except for Jin and Jack, all other senior officials were there. Then I have an important announcement to make. Our Buggy Pirates are about to go to war with the Blackbeard Pirates. Everyone can put aside the work at hand and focus on preparing for the battle. After Buggy told the news, he found that except for Bonnie and Moria who were more excited, everyone else looked indifferent. Aren't you surprised at all? Buggy was a little surprised. This is a war with the 4 emperors. Surprise, Captain, I'm very surprised. When are we going to kill them? Moria looked excited. Yeah, kill that ugly Blackbeard. Bonnie also cursed. You've put demon fruit power to work in the fields, so I'm not surprised at what they do. It's better to go fight than dig holes in Wano Kuni. Crocodile said. Blackbeard. That kind of guy is annoying to look at. I have no objection to attacking him. Hancock said. That's fine with me, and I'm looking forward to the battle. But do you really want to bring the entire pirates group to fight Blackbeard? Hawkeye asked. You know, his pirates group has some notorious big pirates even on the 6th floor of Impel Down. If the 2 sides go to war, the Buggy Pirates group will inevitably suffer some damage. Don't worry about that, I'm fully prepared. Issue the conscription order and see if there's anyone in Wano Kuni willing to join the war. Buggy ordered. There should be. Those warriors are not suited to work at all. I think they would like to go to the battlefield. Moria was very positive. Leave this to me, Captain. The date of the battle has not been set yet, so go and make preparations first. Now I need to meet with the people from Neo Marine. Buggy said. By the way, Mr. 3, find a female ninja in Wano Kuni. She looks very distinctive, so it should be easy to find her. Buggy described the appearance of the little ninja. If you really can't find her, you can ask Shimojiro and the others. Captain, your hunting range is really wide. Crocodile exclaimed. I told you it's not that kind of thing. Also, gather all the Den Den Mushi in the pirates group, I can use them. Buggy ordered. Den Den Mushi, a rare creature unique to the pirates' world, comes in different colors and has various functions such as talking, taking photos, recording, projecting, eavesdropping, and shielding. There are not many Den Den Mushi and they are difficult to cultivate, so they are expensive. Buggy Express earned a lot of Baileys for the Buggy Pirates, but was only equipped with 10 Den Den Mushi. Den Den Mushi does not have any other functions. But now, Buggy has a bold plan that requires the cooperation of Devil Fruit's ability. After a while, the Neo Marine people were brought over. Leading the group was a blue beauty and a tall ninja wearing an eye-catching costume. It was Zephyr's disciples, Ion and Bins. Captain Buggy, we are. Ian started to speak, but Buggy interrupted her. I already know about your story. You are welcome to join us at any time. I heard that you are a scientist. Buggy asked. Ah, yes, I studied in the Marine Science Corps. Ian said. She glanced at the tyrant bear. I can create combat weapons like the white bear. Bonnie snorted. You scientists are all perverts. I don't need to build that kind of combat weapon. Do you understand biology? Buggy asked. What is biology? Ian never expected that one day he would be talking about science with the pirates. It's about studying the mating, reproduction, evolution, and so on of organisms, Buggy said. Everyone looked at him sideways for a moment, and Ian's face turned red. Is there anyone who studies this kind of thing? This is also science. It's science that can change the world. It's much higher level than those combat weapons, Buggy said. A faint light flashed in Tyrant Bear's eyes again, and his head turned slightly towards Buggy. Really, I still can't understand. Ian didn't know how biology could change the world. Buggy pointed at a Den Den Mushi. Use your ability on it. The ability to retreat. A pink flame similar to a will-o'-the-wisp appeared on Ian's palm and he gently touched the Den Den Mushi. The pink light enveloped the Den Den Mushi, and the adult Den Den Mushi turned directly into a baby Den Den Mushi. Such a powerful devil fruit ability. Even though he was mentally prepared, Buggy was still a little frightened when he saw this scene. It's a bit like Bonnie's ability, Alvita said. No, My ability is to control the state of my body, her ability is more like. Bonnie hesitated. Go back in time, said Buggy. There's actually such a devil fruit. Crocodile exclaimed. This baby Den Den Mushi will continue to grow and have the ability to reproduce, right? Buggy asked. I think so. I've never tried it. Ian had never been so bored before, using his abilities on creatures and observing whether they could still reproduce. How much do you know about baby Den Den Mushi? Buggy remembered that most of the alien Den Den Mushi were in the hands of the world government. Children's Den Den Mushi will grow into Den Den Mushi of different colors depending on their food, growth environment, and external stimuli. Most of them will grow into talking Den Den Mushi, while a few will be upgraded to Den Den Mushi with other functions. As a marine scientist, Ian is very clear about this. If you want to integrate the abilities of different colored Den Den Mushi into one Den Den Mushi, or even develop a Den Den Mushi with more functions, can you do it? Buggy asked. How is this possible? Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.